Welcome everyone to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Charter Township of Washington Board of Trustees. Today is January 17, 2024. If you'll all stand and please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Olson.
Here.
Tatowski. Here. Babinski is here. Praviti.
Present.
Nicely.
Here.
Stevenson. Here. And Kopp.
Here. Okay, all present and accounted for. You see before you the agenda. If there's any additions, deletions, or motions.
Supervisor Praviti, I'd like to make one removal and one addition. The removal will be item 11.2, request for variance, parcel number 0422-400-008. And then under new business, we would be adding a Spalding deductor proposal for the Hawks Acre Pathway Design Services. And that would be 11.6. We might be able to move those things since she's here, and if we want to be nice and move her out of here.
Maybe. Is that your motion?
That is my motion.
I'll support it. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. Next, you see the consent agenda. You're being asked to approve the accounts payable of January 17th, approve the minutes of the Board of Trustee meeting of December 13th, 23, and January 4th, 24. Board of Review December 2023. The Planning Commission meeting minutes of November 9th, 2023. The Washington Township Fire Department monthly report of November 2023. Robinson Capital report ending December 31st, 2023. Accept the Macomb County Sheriff's Office monthly traffic enforcement report. Review the Macomb County Sheriff's Office annual report. And Parks and Recreation and Star quarterly reports.
Supervisor Praviti, I want to make a change to the 12:13 minutes under the elected officials update and community announcements. Under, it says Clerk Babinski mentioned the ethics and has a, and then it was a request for the ethics committee to be on the, with some questions on this meeting that we're speaking of. Other than that,
Is that a motion with the?
I'll then make a motion to approve with the changes.
Support. Supported by Kopp. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. We have no moved agenda items. Next item is number 7, comments from audience on non-agenda items. If there's anything not on the agenda that you'd like to address the board, please come to the podium. You have 3 minutes. State your name and address. Going once, going twice. Okay, thank you. Next is legal counsel.
Nothing specific at this time.
Thank you. Next is a public hearing. Annually, we do the Community Development Block Grant public hearing. So I guess I'd like to make the motion to open the public hearing.
Support.
Supported by Cindy Olson. Do we have to do a roll call, or is it all in favor?
All in favor.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. So if there's anyone here that would like to speak to the board for the Community Development Block Grant, otherwise known as CDBG, please feel free to approach the podium. And thank you. If you have any information, you can pass it out too. Thank you.
Sure. Absolutely. Thank you.
So good evening. My name is Kimberly Dunn. I have been a Washington Township resident since 1995. I am currently serving as the event coordinator at Samaritan House. For those of you who are not familiar with Samaritan House, we are basically the primary food pantry that services northwestern Macomb County. We are located at 62324 Van Dyke in Washington Township. So we are here tonight to request some CDBG funding, and just want to give you a little bit of how we service the Washington Township community. We have been in Washington Township, Samaritan House, in several different locations since 1995. Currently, in our fiscal year, we have been providing food assistance to 152 Washington Township families, and that benefits about 2,054 people, spending $40,219 on food for this particular township. We have prevented last year 3 families from Washington Township from being evicted, spending approximately $2,000. We also helped 4 families prevent utility shutoff, again spending approximately $2,000 to do that. We provide food assistance, we provide shelter assistance, we provide utility assistance. We also do several special programs that help the community. We do backpacks for back to school. Last year we had 63 children that participated in that program. They also get a $20 gift card to Walmart so that they can put that towards some shoes. We do Easter. We do winter coats and boots for our elementary kids. We deliver groceries once a month to 10 homebound people in the Washington Township area. So as you can imagine, with the way the economy is right now, we have found that in the Washington Township area, we have had a 35% increase in the services that we are supplying to Washington Township over the last probably 6 months or so. So tonight, I am going to ask that you may consider dispersing to us $8,000 of your CDBG money. I can assure you that it will be spent on the community and it will be spent wisely to help those that are in need sustain their food insecurities.
Fantastic. I don't know if you want to share for the people at home, like your website or phone number or anything?
Oh, yes, our website is www.samaritanhousemichigan.org. And again, we are there to service the community. So if there is anyone watching that needs assistance, please give us a call because we're here to service the community.
Any
No
questions from you?
questions?
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Hi. Sure, no problem.
Good evening. My name is Stacy Conti. I am the Community Outreach Coordinator for Interfaith Volunteer Caregivers. With the number of older adults in Macomb County rapidly increasing, the need for support services due to frailties of age, chronic health conditions, or disabilities, as well as lack of assistance due to changing family structures, is growing dramatically and will continue to do so well into the future. For over 30 years, our organization has been providing free volunteer assistance to hundreds of frail, older, and physically challenged adults, helping them remain safely in their homes with the help of hundreds of volunteers. Such assistance has been helping older and disabled adults with transportation, chores, respite breaks, errands, and loneliness. These opportunities provide fulfilling experiences for those who wish to volunteer with us, as well as support for those in need. The CDBG Safe at Home project of IVC is part of our larger chore and repair program for older and disabled adults. This project was developed to provide additional chore and repair services in communities that allocate funding for that purpose. This project allows us to assist low to moderate income seniors and physically challenged adults with indoor and outdoor chores, minor home repairs, and routine housekeeping. We identify individuals who cannot do these tasks on their own and with limited resources and prioritize those with the greatest need. We are requesting $888 in CDBG funds to increase the number of low-income citizens we can reach, as well as grow our program and coordinate the volunteers who do these services. IVC has provided over 20,000 hours of help over all of its services to nearly 500 people in need each year. With the CDBG program year half over, we have already completed half of the projected projects in Washington Township and have been able to steadily increase the number of projects completed each year in Washington with the help of CDBG funding. We hope for continued support and funding in order to maintain the increase of residents we can assist in Washington with our Safe at Home program. The appreciation for the assistance is so heartwarming. We've done things like fixing a porch for somebody so they can get their wheelchair-bound wife to the doctor safely, helping to remove a tree that fell down in a storm, helping to fix holes in the walls for somebody who created them with their wheelchair, and provide a long-term solution to prevent that from happening again. Other examples of help may be replacing locks, washing windows, raking leaves, and routine housekeeping, as well as installing smoke alarms. With the funding, the project can continue to grow, and assistance can be granted to a variety of low-income Washington Township senior citizens and disabled adults. Thank you for your past support with your CDBG funding. We, of course, appreciate any amount you're willing and able to provide for our program. Our number, if you know of anybody interested or in need of help, is 586-757-5551, or if anybody you know is interested in giving the gift of time as a volunteer. Our website is www.ivcinfo.org, and I appreciate the time tonight and would be happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I'll take it, why not? Keep it going. No problem.
Good evening. My name is Jennifer Fisher, and I'm the Development Director for Maggie's Wigs for Kids in Michigan. Thank you very much, Supervisor and Trustees, for your past support of our program, whether it's through the CDBG program, our gala, or sending in a fundraiser proceed. Everything has helped our kids, and we do not forget you. We really appreciate everything you have done for us. And as you know, we are a local grassroots 501c3 nonprofit organization that provides wigs and support services to children who are experiencing hair loss throughout the state of Michigan. And they're usually between the ages of 3 through 18. All of our services, our wigs, our classes, our social activities, our field trips, and counseling are available at no charge to these families. And we've helped several from Washington Township over the years. We've recently expanded our programming. We're super excited to share that we now have a virtual reality program for the kids. It's called VR for Kids, and what they do is, you've probably seen those MetaQuest headsets, the Oculus, on the news. Well, what we're doing is we're giving these to the kids, and they're able to take them home for 30 days. They can use them at home. They can use them in the hospitals. That really helps with pain management, relaxation, and meditation. And we also have a virtual pet as part of these headsets. And when our kids are in the hospital, they can't take their pet with them, and that's such a huge comfort. You know, that's like a part of their family. So when they're able to have this headset, it's remarkable. It just really changes them emotionally and psychologically. So that's brand new. We just incorporated it this last year. And we've also expanded upon our skincare and makeup classes. Those are huge, and they're really good motivators for the kids' self-esteem. So we do have a lot to offer. Everything is under one roof at our Wellness Center in St. Clair Shores. We have nutrition and fitness programming, a raised therapy garden where they can grow their own herbs and veggies and cook them in the nutrition classes. We have oncology massage, counseling services the whole family can participate in. And we also have nail care as well, because a lot of times when they're going through chemo, their nails get brittle and break. We have services that can help them address those issues. So from the inside out, we really help the kids heal, and it's just remarkable. We're seeing a lot of new kids right now. So the need is great, it's there, and we're here to help. So this year we have asked for $1,200 in CDBG funding to support one child and their family. And there was a little bit of an increase over the last request because our wig manufacturer has sent increases to us 3 times over the last year. So we have had to bump up our request from $1,000 to $1,200. So we are grateful for any consideration you have of our program. Any amount is deeply appreciated. And if there's anybody who knows a kid that needs our help, you can reach out to us. Our number is 586-772-6656. You can go online to wigsforkids.org with the number 4. We do have volunteer opportunities. We're always accepting hair donations because we need a lot of hair to make these beautiful wigs.
She's looking at you.
And we're just so very grateful. We're so grateful to be here to help the kiddos. So, Any questions?
No, but I got to make a statement here.
I'd like to donate.
Yeah.
Last week, Karen and I, and that's my better half, we were having a conversation. And as you get older, your conversations change, okay? You no longer talk about kids and what's going to happen here. You start talking about what happens at the final end and what you want done with stuff. And as many people may have noticed, I've grown my hair longer. Okay? And that was at the request of Karen last year. She said, you know what, we go down to Florida a lot. We have a home down there, and I can see us spending more time there. I'd like you to grow your hair longer. And I went, you know what, no big deal. I had it long when I was in school. What do I care? So the other day, we were talking, and I said, you know what I'd like you to do? When I die, because I'm pretty confident I'm going to go before her. I really hope so. But I want you to cut my hair off and give it to Maggie's.
Thank you so much. It means the world to these kids. It really does.
I have been to Maggie's fundraisers. Phenomenal.
Thank you.
When Steve was there, and just absolutely phenomenal, and the energy that I've seen in the room. I think what you guys do for self-esteem for the kids is fantastic. Keep it up.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I have to share very briefly. I've been with the program for 13 years now, and in 2022, I became a parent of a child who needed help. My daughter was diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma in June of 22, so it was like I understood the program, but now I get it on a whole different level. So, and I see firsthand that she's been able to benefit, and she was actually one of the first kids to do the VR program, so that's why it's near and dear to my heart. But I can tell you she's one of 5,200 kids that have benefited from this program. So, and it's all thanks to the community,
How's she doing today?
She's doing good. She's doing really good. We had a surgery right before Christmas, but her scans came back clear.
Okay, great.
So that's how we want to keep it. Thank you.
We'll keep the prayers up.
Thank you very much.
Is the cost of a wig still $1,200, or has that, because that's what I have from last year's information?
Yes.
The cost of a wig is still $1,200.
It went up. So the $1,200 is the request, but actually out the door it's about $3,000 now. And it was
For one wig?
27. Yes, it was $2,700, and it's now gone up to about $3,000 total. But we do try to donate our own funds to supplement the CDBG request.
Okay. Wow.
So,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
You were going to make a request.
Yeah, what do you want, Bob?
What are you asking for?
How are you?
Smells are fun.
That's a donation.
You don't have the boot with you for, you don't have your boot.
That's what I was going to do for you. That's why I'm here.
I was like, what's he asking for?
Good evening. My name is Tina Huff, and I am the Children's Services Coordinator at Turning Point Shelter Program.
Oh, okay.
Turning Point has been providing a safe place for families to flee from violence since 1980. Between July 1st of 2022 and June 30th of 2023, Turning Point did serve 6 residents from Washington Township. Turning Point's emergency shelter program is a safe haven for survivors of domestic violence and sexual violence. It provides immediate safety, crisis intervention, and resources to families trying to establish this basic safety. The project is a multifaceted approach to ending the cycle of violence in families. Turning Point's 2 case managers meet with every new shelter resident within 24 hours of their arrival to develop an individualized plan. They also work on a plan for safety, housing, and financial stability. This plan can include anything from literacy, immigration, credit repair, and supportive counseling for domestic and sexual assault after leaving shelter. The Shelter Case Management Program has created collaborations with multiple systems, including organizations, businesses, and churches that can help domestic violence victims maintain their safety when leaving shelter. There is strong evidence that states that improving shelters' knowledge of and access to community resources leads to a higher quality of life and less risk of re-abuse. So resource building serves as a protective factor that enhances women's safety over time. Turning Point also continues to provide a comprehensive services to children while in shelter and after they leave. Children in shelter also receive crisis support, tutorial and educational assistance, safety planning, and recreational activities, including a 10-week summer camp, holiday parties, movie nights, arts and crafts. They have a summer garden as well. Many children keep in contact with us months after they leave shelter. We also have a child crisis advocate who works with the children and teen in shelter to provide group and individual counseling. They also have access to that counseling after they leave shelter as well, so it doesn't end when they leave this shelter. Our shelter is completely handicap accessible. We have an indoor and outdoor play area for our children and teens. We have private sleeping areas and bathroom facilities. We have a multi-purpose room that functions as a dining room as well as a family activity area. We have private dedicated counseling spaces, then additional spaces for other nonprofits to come in and provide service to our residents while they're there as well. If Turning Point is awarded the $2,000 of CDB funds requested, that would be able to provide hotel accommodations for people who are looking for shelter when the shelter is full. This includes not only the hotel room, but hygiene kits, food, supplies, and other basic needs, such as transportation and or even money for laundry and things like that. And as the weather gets colder, we find more of an uptick, too, of need. Thank you very much for your time and consideration. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Tina.
Have a-
Anyone else? Okay, going once, going twice. I make a motion to close public hearing for CDBG funds.
Support.
Supported by Stevenson. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passed. The CDBG committee will be meeting to discuss this and should report back at the February 7th meeting. That's that. With that, we'll go into unfinished business. We'll start with 10.1, Kings Ridge Conditional Rezoning Agreement. And we have the representatives here for Kings Ridge.
Good evening, Mr. Supervisor, Board of Trustees. My name is Jim Epping. I'm a land planner from Clarkston, Michigan, representing tonight Mike Dinello from Kings Ridge Estates, LLC, and his team. We've got Bob Kirk, Bill Thompson, and Frank Laloma. Our entire team is here to answer any questions. We've been here before. We appreciate your time. As you'll remember, we're proposing to build a boutique beautiful custom neighborhood just south of 27 Mile Road, a little bit east of Jewel Road. We were here in the summertime after receiving a recommendation for approval from the Planning Commission to build 14 new homes on this site, and we needed at that time one variance that was under the jurisdiction of the board. We had had our new road, which was exiting onto 27 Mile Road. We positioned it specifically to anticipate future development across the street, but it required a variance because of the eastern property line was too close based on your ordinance. At that time, your board, and we understand why, chose not to grant that variance and set us back to essentially to the drawing board to consider different options. Because of traffic movements and planned traffic patterns in the area, we still believe that our road location was the correct location. And so what we've done is actually expanded our property. Previously, we came to you with about 8.5 acres. We're now at 9 acres. The way we did that, the original development had a notch out of the northeast corner. That's an existing home, and that's the original land seller who we bought the property from. What we've done is we've incorporated that acre, a little bit more than an acre, into Kings Ridge Estates. That home will continue to be there. That owner will continue to own that home. But essentially what we've done is we've squared up the property. We've increased it by 1 acre. And what we've done, and we'll go through the site plan briefly here, is we've been able to keep the rest of the neighborhood, same 14 proposed homes, same road configuration, same safe connection at 27 Mile Road, but we've eliminated the need for that extra variance. And so tonight we're asking for you to, well, before I say that, we went back to the Planning Commission. We had to re-enter the process. The Planning Commission was kind enough to kind of hear the case again. They, again, unanimously recommended approval to your board for consideration. And so we're here tonight asking for that final site plan approval for Kings Ridge Estates without a variance request at this point, but just for straight site plan approval. It is a conditional rezoning. I think that's important to note. This is a unique property in the sense that it is a split zone piece of property. The northern half is zoned R1B and the southern half is zoned R1C. What we're asking for is a conditional rezoning, technically to R1D, because the math and the planning of the lots, that worked into the ordinance the best. But it's important to note a few things. That R1D allows a 10,000 square foot lot. We're actually making ours about 30% larger, so about a 13,000 is our typical size lot. So the lots are bigger. The only thing really with R1D as it relates to the zoning request are the setbacks. And so our lots are substantially bigger, even than an R1B lot. But we've been able to essentially, because of the width of the property, mathematically made the neighborhood fit. We're proposing custom homes, 14 homes. You've seen these drawings before, but they're really going to be beautiful homes in that range of about 3,300 square feet and a little bit larger. There'll be ranch homes, which are becoming more and more popular, as well as two-story colonial style homes. Each of the lots will be essentially 95 to 100 foot wide and between 130 to 140 plus feet deep. We'll have detention on the property itself. And the nice part is that we're able to keep about 30% of the property as green space on the south end. We've got the King Drain, but we've got about 225 feet between us and Liberty Woods, the neighborhood to our south, of just undisturbed green space. And so we're excited about that. There is no road connection to the adjacent southern neighborhood. We are working together to bring utilities up as well as entering in an agreement. There's a small road sliver that we're going to grant a continuous easement to that neighborhood. Really no one's even aware that that's not part of their neighborhood, but it just cleans up that paperwork and gives that neighborhood the control of that piece of road. So again, from a graphic point of view, our original property was about 8.5 acres. We're now incorporating that house as it exists now. Our landscaping is quite robust. We're actually planting about 30% more trees than we're required to by the ordinance. We are taking down some trees, but we've worked with the township as well as your ZBA to put in a number of trees, and we're actually exceeding that number that the ordinance would require. So with that, we're here to answer any questions. We appreciate your time and certainly would love to move forward with this neighborhood into Washington Township.
So when the original variance was granted for the trees, in that there were trees that were staying, not being removed. Now it looks like we're removing and replanting. Is that correct?
It's a combination of both. So we are maintaining on site.
So what we originally approved for having just to stay, you've now changed that.
We are keeping actually more. So we were originally approved to remove about 500 trees, and we were going to keep 228. Mm-hmm. We are now keeping those same 228. The numbers actually change a little bit because the new piece of property has some trees. But from apples to apples point of view, we're keeping the exact same number of trees that we promised to keep last time.
I just noticed that on your plan right there's 4 sites that have no trees behind them. And in the original that we approved at the ZBA, I'm part of the ZBA, there were trees all the way around this. So I'm kind of questioning why trees are not there.
There are not trees, and I'll have to double check. I believe that they weren't there for the ZBA, but I'm sure you're.
Yeah, they were all the way through that.
Were they? We're not proposing them in that location because of rear sanitary sewer easements or storm sewer easements. And so there are easements behind those 4 lots that just make it impossible to put trees there because of the easement. We are maintaining trees and installing trees around the rest of it.
Okay.
We believe that certainly those homes will make some greenery part of their landscaping, but from a development point of view, in order to put the storm sewer in the back rather than in front, we're just not able to do it within those 4 lots.
Okay, lot 25, the one at the edge of the road. So now originally that was not part of the Kingswood Estates. It is my understanding from what I read here that that lot is owned by one person and the Kingswood Estates is owned by another group. How is it that you can put those two together and say this is part of our area? I don't understand that.
It's a conditional rezoning, and all parties signed the application.
But I thought with Kingswood Estates that they would have to be the owners of the whole thing. Is that not true?
No, they don't have to be the owners of the whole thing, because this is just a conditional rezoning. However they're going to set up their, bylaws and those documents will be up to them.
So if I
They
had a
could-
piece of property, say I still have my property over on Miller Road, and I wanted to do something, and I get with my neighbor, who at the time was Harold Miller, and say, hey, Harold, I want to do this right here. Can I use your property so that I can claim it as part of my property so I can do this? Is that what you're saying I can do?
No, I'm not saying that.
Okay, so I
I'm not saying that.
don't understand, Christine. I don't understand how you can take a piece of property that doesn't belong to one entity and allow them to use it for zoning on another entity. I don't understand that.
May I try and answer? So
Sure, yeah. And I'm not trying to,
No,
I just want to understand what's.
It's a really great question. So this property, let's think of it as kind of an entity, is going to be controlled by an HOA, a homeowners association. There'll be 14 new homes, or is in a site condo development like this, they would be considered 14 units. This property, the existing property, is being joined into the parcel description of that whole property and will become.
That's for HOA purposes.
Will become Unit 15 within the HOA and will have all the rights and privileges of the HOA. We've negotiated that with that owner, and as the township attorney has stated, everybody has signed off on that. At the end of the day, Kingswood Estates the corporation won't technically own any of the land, right? We're going to sell all 14 lots.
I get it, yeah.
So at the end of it, there'll be 15 owners within the HOA. There'll be that existing neighborhood, that existing home, and then there'll be 14 new homeowners. So all 15 will have equal share in that site condominium.
Okay, so based on that right there, lot 25 is larger than, it's 3 times as large as a lot of those lots out there. What's to prevent them from knocking that building down, and because now it's zoned for D, and build 3 houses there? Will the conditional rezoning not allow that?
It will not allow that. The conditional rezoning, the 2 conditions, number 1, is that it'll be built in accordance with the site plan that you've approved.
Okay, so that cannot change.
Correct.
Okay, in perpetuity, it's going to go with the land. Okay.
It's going to go into final engineering, and once final condo approval is done and approved, that will replace Exhibit B, and that will be the final plan, period.
Okay, all right, that sounds good. The last question I have. So on Unit 6 is over by the pond area. What is the setback requirement there? Is it being met, and what safety measures are there to keep, because these are family homes, right? So kids can walk around. What safety do we have for the kids so that they don't wander in that area?
Well, it's going to be a decorative pond. It'll be a landscape feature and a decorative feature, but a stormwater detention at the same time. Your township in your engineering department have really strict guidelines in terms of cross slope. And so we don't anticipate a fence around it or any type of safety mechanism like that. But the side slope or the cross slope is gentle enough that the township engineers and really kind of standards within the state of Michigan and beyond state that that is a safe environment, that if someone was to go into the water, they can safely come out. There are side slopes that, if it has to contain so much water, they will build those side slopes steeper, but those are the occasions when you see a fence around it. In this case, it's really meant to be a beautiful landscape feature. To answer your question, that last lot, Lot 6, will have a standard side yard setback, and then that pond will be set, beyond that. So the distance from the closest that house could be, and I'm just kind of eyeballing it here, but I think the closest that side of that house would be, if it was built right to the side, up to that pond, is probably 40 feet or so. I'd have to verify that, but it's a safe distance away, and it'll have quite a bit of landscaping in there as well.
Okay. All right, well, thank you for answering my questions.
Thank you.
I can't read the numbers that are on here, but one of the things that we've been challenged with in some of the other communities here is the people want to build decks on the back of their house and the encroachment into the easements and things like that. Do we have enough room behind there? I know these lots are going to be a little bit bigger, but because I can't see the number that's on here, do we have enough room that these folks can actually buy these lots and build decks on the back without coming to us for variances?
Bob, do we know, are the decks going to be permitted outside of the building envelope?
I'm not sure. I think we got that far.
Can you speak at the podium so people can hear you and the audience can hear you? Thank you.
Mike Dinello, Vanguard Development.
Hi.
Yes, we believe, based on the setbacks of R1D, we do have sufficient rear yard space for a patio with foundation or exterior lanais and some of these features with a covered patio, so we believe we have enough room.
So, Gary, what I read on here is 30 feet.
How many?
30 feet.
Oh, 30 feet?
30 feet. But
Okay.
now you have 4 lots there that I don't know how far of a setback they can build into where they're not putting in the trees. So there may be 4 there that may be a little hard to design for what people want.
Based on the setbacks that are allowable under the R1D, and given the size and depth of our lots, we vary from 130 to 150 deep. We don't anticipate actually having home structures that are as deep as the allowable build envelope. So I think what you're going to find is perhaps a front entry garage, 3-car garage. And what it ends up doing is making the actual building footprint a little bit more shallow, therefore allowing a little bit more rear yard space for a covered patio or a structural patio. So.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Any questions from the audience? Any motions? I'll make a motion to approve Kings Ridge conditional rezoning agreement.
Mr. Supervisor, if I may, that's not only the agreement, but it's approval of the conditional rezoning request and adopting the zoning ordinance amendment. It's all 3 things.
What she said.
What she said.
Watch the video, you're telling me, Sam, right?
I make a motion to approve Kings Ridge conditional rezoning agreement and
Adopt the proposed zoning ordinance amendment.
Adopt.
And approve the conditional rezoning request to R1D. Support?
thank you.
I have one question.
Yeah, question on the motion.
Do we need to add in there the clarification on what they're going to do with the section that goes into Liberty Woods Street as part of the condition of the approval?
Oh, yeah, that one neighbor keeps asking about it, sorry.
Can I just address that?
Sure.
Yeah.
So it's that little piece there of their street that's on
Yeah.
our property. We want to restrict that. There's an issue now. How do you go about it? Number one, we could deed it to them, but you have a problem with that. Now you're splitting off property, adding it to their existing master deed. I talked to Patty about it. It's kind of a mess. So we'd rather give them an easement with a restrictive covenant. We won't use it. Allow them to use it and maintain it. So we'll work that out, just a matter of which mechanism to use, but that's our intent.
And that should not be part of the conditional rezoning, that's between them.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Okay, if no other questions, roll call.
Purvidi?
Yes.
Olson?
Yes.
Tatowski?
Yes.
Babinski is a yes. Cop?
Yes.
Stevenson?
Yes.
And Nicely?
No. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Next is the Seven Lakes consent agreement.
That was removed.
No, it wasn't. No.
7 Lakes.
No, 11-2 was.
11-2 was, I'm sorry. I crossed off the wrong one. Yeah, you're still there.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Joe Farrow. I live at 5082 Seven Lakes Drive South. This consent judgment is a piece of property that I own behind and next to me. It's adjacent to...
Can you pull the mic up or speak a little louder? Because it's not picking it up very well.
Sorry.
Thank you.
First time ever up here.
Oh, we won't bite.
Maybe BRW can turn up that mic.
Gary might.
I think I just broke it. I'm looking for a consent judgment to increase the lot sizes in the subdivision that on Juneberry Trail, that I plan on developing just that piece of it that connects into Outlook Trail, which is the subdivision to the east of me, that Mike Magnoli is developing.
So if the board remembers, the piece that Mike Magnoli had, it's kind of a similar agreement. There's less homes being built with more green space between the homes, and they're keeping the sidewalk along 31 Mile Road. That's kind of it.
Yeah, I mean,
Sorry.
I'm increasing the, I'm decreasing the lots from 6 to 5, and I'm making the lots bigger. And I'm hooking into Outlook Trail instead of having a cul-de-sac there where the water main would dead end until I decided to develop that subdivision. But the proper thing to do is to run the water main so you have a loop from Mike Magnoli sub through Juneberry Trail back into Seven Lakes, so the water doesn't dead end at Outlook Trail. I'm a contractor by trade.
And I understand you, oh, sorry.
No, go.
I understand that you did meet with the Homeowners Association several months ago, and they were all on board with this.
I did. Everybody's on board.
So I mean, 100%, this is good that we're reducing density, always good thing. My two questions are, and this isn't, probably not even against you, this is how the consent judgment is set up, but we're calling the Walker landfill a recreation area. That's worrisome. I bought in there, and I was never informed prior to buying that there was a landfill there. I found out afterward. So is there a mechanism in place to warn people or inform people, not warn, inform people prior to purchasing the property of their proximity to a landfill?
So if you remember, Dan Olson is the president of our association.
Yep.
When I bought the property, I found out that the residents of Seven Lakes were responsible for the landfill. The developer, Mitch Foster, put the language in our consent judgment, in our bylaws, I believe. Before I bought the property, I asked Mitch Foster to retract that statement because he was the custodian of our consent judgment, and he did. So we do have the language today. We just need to write it in our bylaws.
I know.
We do have the language, and I do have the paperwork retracting the Seven Lakes owners from being responsible for that landfill. I don't know. I knew there was a landfill there because it says Walker Landfill, and I did research on it, and they did reclamation on it. And I also drilled holes in my property, wells, not holes. I drilled wells, McDowell, to figure out which way the water flow was going and where the aquifer was. And the water's flowing southwest from our property, away from Seven Lakes, into the landfill south of our property, across the 31 Mile Road.
So yeah, I called Macomb County, and I spoke with their water expert, and for a long conversation. And she explained to me that the water does run north to south, so that agrees with what you're saying. I just want to make sure that people are are informed before they buy land that there's a landfill there? You know, they should know and be able to make a decision.
Now, should have brought my attorney because that's above my head. I can't put signs on the gentleman's property. We don't own it. And so I don't know how to do that. So
Okay.
that's above my head on how to do that, but I can inquire with my attorney on that. But again, with that property though, I drilled those wells and I've had them tested several times at my expense, and they've always come back clean. One came back with PFAS in it, but it was the plastic pipe itself. So I drilled a stainless steel pipe, again at my expense, to make sure that the water's not contaminated. So whatever was in that landfill is contained. And that's why I bought that 60 acres and a house in Seven Lakes, adjacent to my property.
So I was told it's all lined with clay and it's topped with clay, right?
I believe the landfill that Macomb owned it, and Mitch Foster owned it, and then I think Eagle. There's a whole lawsuit regarding that landfill. And I think it was only a 10-acre landfill, and they made him expand that landfill to about 30 acres, and they capped it with over 100,000 cubic yards of clay to keep the water from penetrating into it. You can't perforate. Anybody that owns that landfill, which has gone through tax sales several times, you cannot perforate the ground. I don't even think you can plant trees on it. You can't put a fence there. You can't put any buildings because they don't want you to perforate the clay barrier.
Right, right. I noticed one other thing on the site language, the site criteria, and on one of these, it says that some of the lots will allow wells. That's not correct, right? They're all going to be on city water. There will be no wells.
That's the language when they ran. So we've had a water main running through our subdivision prior to me being there. And when Washington Township ran a water main and hooked into the well system, or the water main system in our subdivision, I believe they allowed us to keep our wells. So
Right.
I'm still not on city water.
Right.
My well, I've experienced it. My kids leave the faucets running, never runs dry. I'm in an aquifer that never quits. So I decided not to hook up to.
You know what? I think Rich is going to jump in and answer this.
Can I help you out here?
Yeah.
You don't have to hook up to the city water. I mean, you do have to hook up to city water, and you are allowed to keep your well. That's the way it is.
So any new construction has to hook up to
All
the
new
well.
construction in Seven Lakes,
Existing doesn't have to, they can use it.
existing can go on as long as they want to go on.
Yeah, my water's fine too. I'm
Yeah.
on a well. And that includes lot 35 and 36, along with all the ones in your new subdivision.
The ones up again. And
The ones up front.
Seven Lakes Drive South.
Yep, yep.
They'll all be on city water.
It'll be on city
Okay.
water.
Good.
Thank you.
So we need to get that somehow changed on that right there so that
Well,
it's written into
Yeah.
the consent agreement language.
Well, the reality is this: you cannot put a well unless it's 800 feet away from the landfill. So even if they wanted to put a well in there, they couldn't. The county will not let them drill it. So regardless of the language in there, you can't do it.
But this may prevent future development in other areas to believe that they can put a well in.
You know, if you look at
It's
these.
language.
I forgot what page it's on, but just on one of them, it doesn't say wells, and on one of these it does. I can point out which one it is, but I'd like that removed.
Sure.
So there's nothing in here that says that wells are allowed.
One of the other things that I found is I got a copy of the consent judgment, and I read that, plus all the other three amendments that go along with it. And just for your own edification, it says in the consent judgment that there shall be depicted in the development plan in the same fonts and type as identified, that identifies the lakes, a legend stating that the proposed recreation area was formerly the Walker landfill and there shall be depicted boundaries of the former landfill. A copy of the development plan shall be conspicuously displayed in the sales office. Part D, the condominium disclosure statements and master deeds will also identify to prospective purchasers the area as proposed recreational area to be the former Walker landfill. The only thing that's confrontational to me is the fact that I'm worried about typographical changes that are made to these documents, that it says, right now it says recreation / Walker landfill, and 10 years down the road when these things keep getting copied and all of a sudden the Walker landfill thing gets deleted and now it just becomes a recreational area. So I just caution you to make sure that that runs with the diagrams and the plans for this. And according to the consent judgment, it also says that these things need to show up on the not only the master deed, but the deeds that go to the homeowners. And lastly, point Q, which was a bit of a surprise to me, says all houses shall be constructed in accordance with the township ordinances and shall be equipped with smoke alarms and methane detection devices. Well, I didn't even know there was such a thing as a methane detection device, but apparently there is. So this is basically saying that all the houses that are built in there must have these kinds of devices inside.
Typically, most houses today are built with a radon gas detection system. So I don't know if that coincides.
That's my question. I don't know.
Not a builder. That would be for.
My house has smoke and CO2, but I didn't know methane was a thing that you had to put a detector in your house for. So.
Yeah, there are detectors out there that will detect a multitude of gases and that. You know, they'll do 6, 7 different ones, but some are just specific.
So radon gas is produced naturally through the earth, and they put a cap over your sump pump. It's almost like a, what's the pump in the basement for the sewage? Not the sump pump, but the other one.
Oh, injector pump.
Yeah, the injection pump. If you have a restroom in your basement, they put it and they seal a cap on it, and they run a pipe, and they vent it through the ceiling. My house didn't come with that. I bought it used, and I had a little bit of a fear of that because of the proximity to the landfill, and I did buy a radon gas and a methane detector, and I put it in the basement.
Yeah, 30 to 60 bucks, plug it in, you're done.
Yeah, and I have not had a problem. My neighbor Pete installed. He'd be to the west of me. He installed the cover over the sump, but I believe most builders today install that. I don't know. I'm not a builder. I'm not familiar with the building codes.
Hey, Joe, I had to put mine in. I had to put my own in.
Yeah, to my knowledge, it's not something that's required under building code right now.
Yes, sir.
It's recommended that we do it, especially in northern Macomb areas and northern Oakland County. It's high radon levels.
They do put visqueen down before they install the pea gravel now to maintain that inside the basements before they build to contain it.
Any questions from the audience? Any other questions from the board?
Do you know when the ground is broken, if there's a chance of any leakage seeping out of that landfill into the lots? I mean, you break the seal a little bit and something's going to leak out. Do you know if that's going to happen by any chance or any experience with that?
I have not. So the landfill was capped.
Well, on the top though, but not on the
Well,
side.
I believe the landfill, if you read the language, and you can't quote me on this, I think the landfill was 10 acres, and they surrounded that 10 acres with 30 acres and capped it with approximately 100,000 cubic yards. There was a court case, and I read it. My experience is no. I'm not cutting, I'm filling. I have a 10-foot fill that I have to put in there. So I had to go through some wetlands, and I mitigated the property. And I bought wetlands to run the road in there. We're putting approximately 8 feet of fill through the whole thing. So I'm not cutting, I'm filling. So that would, not an engineer, so I don't know if that would cap the ground even better or not.
Okay.
And then one of the reasons that I want to develop Juneberry Trail too is I have 2 small kids. And I didn't want a cul-de-sac in Outlook because people tend to park in cul-de-sacs. So running that all the way through and running the loop through there creates a constant traffic. And putting those 5 houses in there puts people in that subdivision. Just because I just don't want cul-de-sacs. Again, I'm a contractor and I deal with cul-de-sacs all the time and I just don't want them in there. And it creates that continuous loop with the water through the subdivisions.
I have one last question. Why do we need and this is because, for my own edification, because I've never come across this before. Why do we need to amend a consent judgment to not build as many homes as was originally allowed? Why do we need an amendment to do that?
Because you're changing the plan. You're changing what was approved.
Originally had a big green space. It's becoming smaller, but each lot now have bigger green space between it.
Oh, he's just asking in general, why do we have to do this when it's for the betterment? It's
Because you're
just because
changing
the
what was
agreement's
approved.
changed.
You're changing what was approved, and this board approved it, or this body approved it.
So
We're the
because
one that
it
can
was
change it.
approved originally as this is the footprint, this is the green space, and now we're changing the footprint, we're changing the green space.
Correct.
Okay, thank you for that
So
explanation.
actually, when I bought the property, we had Mitch change the language on the Walker landfill. It had to go through the consent judgment committee.
Okay.
Right.
Well, thank you. You learn something every day.
I try to.
Do I
This is my
do I
first
have to
time learning
abstain
this.
because I live there? No?
So just for clarification of what I thought I heard, are you asking for something else to be added regarding the removal of the wells from that, where it
I
has
don't
to
know.
change the agreement?
Can we add that? That somehow,
Add-
I'm just looking for people to be notified that there's a landfill there before they buy, but I don't think that's part of what we're doing here
This one only
today.
affects
Well,
this small portion.
The language is in the consent
Yeah,
judgment.
the language is already there in the consent judgment. It's there.
Well, I know, but how many people read that? I'm just saying face-to-face, eye-to-eye.
Well,
Again-
I read it, make sure that I wasn't responsible for the
And
land.
just from my seller's disclosure knowledge, I don't think that qualifies as one of the state regulations for disclosure. A farm does qualify.
Lead paint?
A firing range qualifies. Yeah, you got lead-based paint and all that, but I don't think landfills makes that list for whatever
But
reasons.
Like I said, it's in the consent
Yeah.
judgment. They're required to have it in the office, so.
The reason I know about the well, you can't put a well within 800 feet of the landfill is when I first bought the property, I wanted to put those 6 lots in there, and they said you can't because you can't have a well closer than. So I divided those lots into 2 big lots, and Washington Township allowed me to put 2 wells with an easement in the front. Then when we ran the water main through there, it's like,
Right.
let's tie into Mike's property and have that continuous loop.
Right. Thank you.
I don't think I can do this for a living either. Standing up here is very-
You look mighty uncomfortable.
I do, yeah.
You did fine.
You can watch yourself on WBRT
I don't
TV
wanna
if you
watch
want to
It's
later.
not going to happen.
I'm sure they'd love
Just so you
to
can
send
practice
you a
for the next
copy.
time.
I actually texted my attorney while I was sitting there going, where you at?
That's just more money for them, though.
It's okay.
I'm sorry,
I'm willing
Christie.
to pay it.
I assume that the consent judgment committee has already reviewed this and approved it?
It's going through
Okay.
everybody, yep.
Did anybody make a motion yet?
Not
We
yet.
have not.
All right, well, I'll make the motion then to approve the Fourth Amendment to the consent judgment to reduce the number of residential units proposed within the estates of 7 Lakes, but increase the size of these residential units and correspondingly increase the open space.
I'll support that.
So we have a motion by Kopp, seconded by Dukowski. If no questions, roll call.
Kopp.
Yes.
Tatowski.
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yes.
Nicely.
Yes.
Reviti.
Yes.
Olson.
Yes.
Babinski's a yes.
Okay, motion passed. Thanks, Joe.
Thanks.
Thanks, Joe.
See you guys.
Next is discussion on our 2023 master plan. So that's
Hey, Joe's back.
Evening, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Good evening, everyone. So I do have a kind of short executive summary presentation of the master plan, if you'd like it. Given that we're here talking about adoption, I think it's good to kind of summarize everything. There we go. It's up on the screen. So we worked on this for a while now. It really was a kind of a couple-year process. The process actually originally kicked off in October 2021. That's when the notices of intent plan were sent. That's a legal requirement. And then there was an informational session held at that time. There was a bit of a transitional period personnel-wise, so there was a bit of a pause in the process, and then we picked back up in early 2022. At that point, there was some data gathering and analysis to establish some background for the plan, demographics, housing, economics. Really looking at what are things like now, how have things changed over time, what's likely to happen in the future. And then from late spring into fall 2022, we held a series of public workshops with some complimentary surveys to review the previous master plan and submit some public comment on the future of the town, solicit some public comment on the future of the township. So the major themes of the input that we received from township residents were preservation of the natural environment and rural character of the township, concerns about traffic, road safety, delays, congestion, the need for local availability of goods, services, and entertainment, new development, being sensitive to existing development, appropriately located, and continuing to develop the village center, but considering the impacts of that development elsewhere, and provide some sort of organizing authority for the district. These were all things that we heard many, many times over the course of doing these sessions. And there's a picture of one of the sessions there. They're all pretty well attended. It was a nice process. Then in 2023, really worked on the plan draft and a few more workshops. So we set policy to guide the drafting of the master plan, and then we had a workshop to discuss the future land use map. Many of you were here for that. We reviewed the final plan draft at a workshop as well. We had our 63-day comment period, which is another statutory requirement, so it gets sent to all of our neighbors and other agencies, reviewing authorities. And then we had a public hearing at the Planning Commission back in December, where the Planning Commission voted to adopt the plan. And now we are here at the Township Board because the Township Board has exercised its right to also adopt the plan. So what's in this plan? Kind of start with a vision statement. As Washington Township continues to grow, new development will occur in a planned manner that respects the history, natural environment, and rural character of the community, and preserves agricultural uses, even as it acknowledges the need for progress. Washington Township's future will be built on a strong, diverse economy, housing opportunities that serve an array of needs, a high quality of life, and well-managed growth. So really, I think from this vision statement, you can kind of see how all those major themes of our public input became the guiding principles for the whole plan. Now, in support of that vision statement, we established 8 goals. I won't read them word for word, but they deal with economic development, access to services, housing, environmental quality, transportation, community facilities and services, unique places, and harmonious development. And then each of those goals is supported by a set of objectives that call for specific actions to help reach the goal. And then the final chapter of the plan, which we'll look at in a second, is an implementation guide that provides a tracking form for actions that can be taken toward achieving those objectives. So just to kind of break down what we have in terms of implementation. Goals are general statements about a particular aspect of future development. Objectives add detail to the goals, and they're more specific about how we might achieve them. And then action items are concrete actions that we can take to advance our goals and objectives. So they can often be tied to a responsible party or a potential source of funding or progress on an action, and like how we measure that progress. We can even benchmark our action items. So the plan is broken down into a number of chapters. One deals with community facilities, and the future of community facilities in the township. Another deals with housing. So a couple of the major themes of that are we have an aging population. This is true nationwide as well as in Washington Township. So the average age in the community is increasing. Our share of seniors is rising. How do we handle future demand for senior housing? How do we provide people a place to live in the township that they may have grown up in or have lived in for a long time, when they can no longer live in their own home? Considering some housing options that aren't currently available, like cottage court ranches or accessory dwelling units, and then large facilities in built-up areas rather than out in more rural areas of the township. Another major concept that we explored was attainability. This is a different concept from affordability. Affordability generally refers to subsidized housing. Attainability is really talking about the type of housing that can be afforded by households making between 80 and 120% of the area median household income. So we also have to consider transportation costs along with housing costs, because the two of them added together are generally a large portion of monthly expenditures for a household. And we found that much of the township, when you combine transportation and housing costs, is hovering around 50% of its income. And that's over the 45% threshold. That's considered affordable. So that's something to keep in mind as we move forward. The plan does address this by providing for some considered growth of housing and strategically permitting more housing types to provide a range of price points. Looked at our commercial and industrial areas. This includes the village. So in our commercial areas, we're looking to keep those focused along Van Dyke, 26 Mile, and then 32 Mile east of Romeo. Acknowledging the role of agriculture and agricultural tourism in the township's economic picture. Incentivizing sort of an evolution of commercial design toward more parking in the rear, buildings coming up closer to the road, more gathering and amenity places on commercial sites. Improving pedestrian safety on commercial sites, so you get there and you park your car and then you have to walk to the store or the restaurant that you're going to visit. And just how do we design our sites internally to make that a more pleasant trip from the car to the door. And then reviewing requirements to avoid unnecessary paving, for requiring too much parking for certain uses. Demand for parking is a constantly evolving thing. Looking at the village, we're getting to the point where we've had a lot of village-related projects, and some of the challenges to future redevelopment there include land assembly. You've got a lot of kind of small parcels that need to be put together to build something. Access management to improve safety along Van Dyke. How do we get maybe some site-to-site connections that could maybe make it less necessary to pull out onto Van Dyke just to get to the next place you wanted to go. Looking to provide routes through the area that are off Van Dyke, because ultimately we want to keep Van Dyke narrow with lower speeds. So what are the potential alternatives for people to get through the area? Incorporate the design guidelines for the village into the zoning ordinance. They are kind of hanging out on their own right now. planning updates to the village. The plan updated the village center principles for 2023. So we had a whole set of principles from the original establishment of the village center, and those were all updated based on what's happened since then and what we're looking to do in the future. And then considering establishing a DDA to advance the district, something that could kind of take a holistic view of things and perhaps even fund projects to create a little bit more unity there. Looked at industrial development. So we have some traditional industrial manufacturing and warehousing, that kind of thing. And then we are also looking at kind of new technology uses to provide some additional employment and tax base. Some work was actually done on this last year already, where we established a new industrial research and technology district that's more focused on kind of research and laboratory type uses, and more of an industrial park type feel rather than a site-by-site. Looking to attract more high-tech uses, look at our landscaping standards. We're just trying to make sure that our industrial uses are well screened from our residential uses. And the locations where they've been placed on the future land use map also speak to that, because they're really placed in locations where the property is physically separated by M53 or a mile road or Van Dyke from residential areas and even some commercial areas. And then also we have to be thinking about our transportation connections to industrial areas from our regional roads, principally M53, and make sure that our county and state road agencies are on top of improving the transportation connection and maintaining it as we have, kind of heavier traffic moving through those areas. We also have a transportation plan, so it has to consider all types of mobility. I know we tend to think of cars first and foremost, and that's for a reason. Automobiles are dominant. But we do have to provide safe facilities for walking and biking. The plan sets forth some principles for complete streets and a framework for non-motorized transportation. And it's consistent with what the township has been doing and working toward. And then we also incorporated the wayfinding plan that has been approved into the master plan. We have our thoroughfare plan, which is a required part of a master plan, where we classify all of our roads based on a federal classification system. We have one freeway, that's M53. We have a regional road, that's 26 Mile. Then we have our major thoroughfares and secondary thoroughfares. We also have a couple of natural beauty roads that happen to be secondary thoroughfares. That's Campground north of 29 Mile and Mount Vernon from 29 to 31. We want to acknowledge that as well. We heard a lot about road safety, particularly with regard to speeds. So we did address it a lot in the text of the document. Potentially looking at some physical improvements, particularly at certain intersections or road segments. Access management, which I mentioned before. Potentially studying some areas where posting speed limits rather than relying on the statutory 55 mile an hour limit might be appropriate. That has some limitations to it because you have to coordinate with the state police to do that, and they have their standard, and they will not always lower a speed limit when you want them to. Our non-motorized plan does carry forward the sidewalk plan. And one thing that we did change there is that the language of the plan now reflects that some areas that were previously marked required are now classified as planned, and that's based on some court decisions that occurred last year. And then we also incorporate and prioritize pathways identified in the Macomb County Trailways Master Plan for that development. This is just our sidewalk plan map and our existing non-motorized facilities. Getting into the future land use map, this is one of the cornerstones of the master plan. So this isn't a zoning map, it doesn't change anything zoning, but it does affect the decisions that we might make on rezoning requests in the future or township-initiated rezonings. So one thing that you may notice looking at this is that there's more dark green over on the west side of the township than there is on the zoning map. The rural and estate classification has been brought over to Mound Road. And then up in the northeast corner of the township, there's a little bit more color there than there was before to try to accommodate, kind of looking far into the future, some of the commercial and industrial development, particularly that industrial research technology development that I was talking about before in the future. And then finally, we have our implementation chapter, because it's easy for a master plan to get put on a shelf and kind of forgotten about until it's time to look at it again in 5 years. So a plan that provides a means for tracking progress toward its goals is more likely to be actively used in future decision-making. And the implementation plan is structured to provide that kind of guidance and trackability. We have our implementation matrix, and I'll have an example of that on the screen in a second. And really the action items that are in there fall into 4 categories. They're zoning items. Zoning is really the primary tool for implementing your master plan, so there's a lot of those. Capital improvements, so things that you might spend money on, assets you might acquire that could help further some of the goals. Advocacy items, which are really more a matter of policy that the township is going to establish, and then some other items that don't quite fit in any of those categories. And that matrix looks like this. So really we even left some blank lines so you can add more action items when they occur to you in the future. It gives you a place to identify potential funding or supporting resources. It establishes a likely lead body for the execution of that action, and a priority and time frame. Not every item has all of those things, but really what we recommend is that the Planning Commission develop a habit of having a standing annual review date for its implementation plan. So, like, let's say every September, the Planning Commission puts it on the agenda that they're going to go through their implementation plan, and they're going to review their progress, and they're going to say, all right, what should we prioritize to do next? And that's kind of a healthy practice just to keep you in tune with your master plan and what your guiding goals and principles are, and make sure that you're moving forward toward what you wanted to achieve. There's also a zoning plan, and this basically just says, here are your future land use categories, and here are the zoning districts that they correspond to. And if there's a future land use category that doesn't have a corresponding zoning district, then that's a district that you might look to make in the future. And that is a quick summary of the long document that has been provided for you. If you have any questions or comments for me, I'm happy to address them.
I have a couple. One, sir, is on the plan that you had when the colorful squares that are on there, and I don't remember what slide that was on, but you have a couple just white spots on there that aren't colored in. What do those indicate that they're going to be, or are they just missed?
Are you talking about this page?
No.
Nope. It's awesome.
The future land use page.
I believe I know which one you're talking about.
It's page 103.
We always leave a little bit of space for the township to add a little bit to the list of action items.
That was the one right there, I believe.
This one?
Yours doesn't show, but there is one square, one white.
Oh, there's a few little white areas, and those are MDOT owned land. Yeah, they don't wind up with a color.
What's the big blob over there of white just west of M53?
Romeo.
Oh,
That's Little
Romeo.
Village?
Yep, that's
Okay.
Romeo.
Sorry, I called it a blob, but I couldn't realize where all that was.
Calling our neighbor a blob.
And I do have a question, Joe. Again, I don't know how these color marked it is. You just fill in triangles, squares, and rectangles and things of that nature. But I'm noticing where my subdivision is, it appears to be some type of, I'll call it emerald green, or not emerald green, olive green. It says tournament there, that section there. Some of this is more of a suburban residential area with site condos. But there are, I want to say, at least 3 areas with current subdivisions there that are more of the moderate density of the 20 to 30,000 square foot homes or properties. That includes a large chunk of almost 17 acres over there that is also now being considered to be 10 to 15,000, and we've always had that in the half-acre type lots. So I don't know if it, again, when coloring's being done, how it gets generated.
Sure. Well, yeah, I mean, it was done really, we had that workshop, and ultimately the Planning Commission sat down and analyzed the future land use map and basically decided what they wanted things to be. If there are existing subdivisions that have smaller lot sizes than those that are anticipated in that future land use category, it doesn't really affect their ability to continue existing, and it doesn't also doesn't necessarily mean that their zoning would ever be changed. They would kind of be a legacy.
And what about the land, though, that's still potentially there of, again, somewhere in the neighborhood, 17 acres, it's now showing a lower density suburban residential versus a moderate, which the surrounding areas is request, or has been. So I'm speaking of the corner of 29 Mile Road and Van Dyke, southwest corner. That is an undeveloped area right now.
Yeah, I believe it originally had a multifamily designation on it from the last plan. And it is, well, it's partially undeveloped now. I'm trying to recall exactly what I saw on that property. It might have been one house or something, but it was multifamily in the last master plan, and the Planning Commission decided to bring it into that suburban residential category on this map, this version of the map.
On the northeast side by Powell Road there, we still have a big recreation area with, there's homes there and our sewer plant, our wastewater treatment plant. And the northern part there too, I don't know, throughout the plans, we put a lot of infrastructure there. I was more under the assumption it would be more industrial and commercial there, not more homes and multi-homes on that Powell Road. You got suburban residential in that area.
Yeah, that's really kind of a carry forward from the 2018 master plan update.
Joe, is there any feedback from any of the adjoining communities?
No.
No? Okay.
There's no development in either community. I don't know, would it be possible to change that to more industrial and commercial, like overlay in the Powell area? Or?
I think you could potentially maybe make it a flexible designation, like kind of stripe it, and then based on how things go in the future, you kind of have some flexibility as to which way you go with it.
None of that's recreation.
No, it's all houses right now.
Sorry, any questions from the audience? If we wanted to go ahead and change that area, like, is that a simple fix, or is that, sorry?
Mr. Supervisor, if I may, the Township Board does not have the authority to change the master plan. The Planning Commission has had their public hearing, and they approved it. You can either approve it, or you can send it back to the Planning Commission with objections. And you have to indicate what your objections are, and the Planning Commission takes a look at it, and they are required to hold another public hearing and to address your objections, and then you'll see it again.
I'm thinking I would like to see more of that recreational support area moved up into that north of 31 Mile Road. Because we do have all that industrial, we've got the roads coming in there for that main purpose, and again, yeah.
What would be the process, sorry, if we do that, when we send, if they decide to send it back?
You could make a motion to reject the master plan,
How long?
state your object, but it all depend on how much time the Planning Commission takes. Because they are required to address every single one of your objections.
And they got to go through a new 63-day public hearing and everything else.
That's correct. But this is a
But if we
master plan
approve it,
that
then
they
we're
worked
stuck with
very
it
hard on, so get it
for a couple
right.
years, and then we got people coming in trying to develop based on the plan that's not the plan we really want them to be working on, and so we're struggling against that too.
Well, the master plan drives zoning, so my question is, what zoning say that area is right now?
Oh, it's primarily large lot right now.
Pardon?
Primarily large lot right now. There's, down at the southern end, it's the IRT, the new industrial district.
So if that falls into what we want to ultimately, master plan drives the zoning.
But we don't want more houses there, we want that to be more industrial and commercial, that area.
The recreation support does actually support some industrial use, so anywhere you see that kind of, I don't know how you describe that.
Well, it's that suburban.
Pale
residential.
salmony color, but yeah, once you get north of 31 Mile, the designations do change more to residential.
I mean, I feel like we spent like 3 years on it. I'd rather do it right than, I don't know, that's.
So I'll make the motion to deny the master plan as presented. I'm not quite sure how to state the part that I want to be adjusted.
To review
Do
the
I-
whole Powell area.
Can we do it that way, just to review that certain area?
Well, yet
Or,
you need to indicate to the Planning Commission what you object to.
okay. So,
What
you
you
got
want.
one prepared, go ahead.
No, I don't have one
Oh.
prepared. I mean, well, go ahead.
So I'm objecting to the residential, the suburban residential in the Powell 31 area, and like to be considered more for the recreational support, which would have a flexible mixed use of commercial and light industrial uses. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah.
Is that good
I'll
enough?
second that. I'll
Okay.
second.
I'll note from a technical standpoint, this is a very easy change to make. So it's really, the process is more complicated than the actual change, yeah.
And unfortunately, the process is statutory, so we've got to follow it.
Okay, motion by Babinski, seconded by Praviti. Any questions on the motion? Otherwise, roll call.
Babinski is a yes. Praviti?
Yes.
Olson?
Yes.
Tatowski?
Surprised we got this far, and we're just now catching this, but I'll say yes.
Nicely?
Yes.
Stevenson?
Yes.
And Cop?
No.
Okay, thanks. I don't know if I have to make a motion. I'd like for Giffords to continue on this project, if they're okay with it.
Yeah, I mean,
Do I have to make a motion on it, or no?
it's a
You're okay.
very simple
Okay, yeah.
change to make, to send to the planning commission. That's,
I would recommend a motion.
That's what I mean, if you guys are okay.
yeah.
I'd like to make a motion for Giffords Webster to continue working on the master plan until it's completed.
Support.
Supported by Olson. If no questions, roll call.
Praviti?
Yes.
Olson?
Yes.
Tatowski?
Yes.
Babinski is a yes. Cop?
Yes.
Nicely?
Yes.
And Stevenson?
Okay, motion passes. Thank you, Joe.
Thanks.
Thank you, Joe.
Anybody else need this?
What's that?
What am I doing?
I've got a question.
Yes.
When should we consider a DDA for the downtown, the village district?
Planning Commission will decide that. They have to propose it.
And it's best when values are extremely low, because when they go up, then they get more tax dollars.
Yeah.
Right now, we're in the $1 million mark.
Just before land is sold.
Okay. Next is 10.4, Ethics Committee. We have two of our members here.
So I'll start this off a little bit. I had the Ethics Committee meet one day in the senior center. They were supposed to meet somewhere else, but we directed them, and then they had some questions. So I'm the one who suggested that they bring this to the board. And were you able to contact anybody? Okay, that's all right. So they had some questions. Since then, legal counsel had also contacted us and advised us maybe that we maybe not go through a whole thing in here, question and answer completely, but we want to address what we can, and then maybe legal counsel will then guide you guys through the rest of the process.
What he's thinking, maybe you guys go back to the committee and more like the smaller items you can review and the questions that you may have or interpretation.
Yeah,
That was
'cause
just discovered this today.
Because the committee was put together to look at this right here and put it together. Then you guys were handpicked to be on the Ethics Committee. You should be working with the committee and get all those issues resolved and then come back to the board. That's how this should work. It shouldn't be you come to the board, then you go to the committee, and then that's not how it works. So my recommendation and my motion is, well, we don't even need a motion because we already approved that the consent agenda committee handle this right here. So I would suggest that we go back to the consent agenda committee, which was Stevenson, Kopp, and Olson, and the three of you sit down with them and iron out all these issues.
The Ethics Committee, you mean?
With the attorney.
The Ethics Committee. And iron out all those issues, and then come back when you've completed that.
I would recommend a motion because you've got it on the agenda as an agenda item.
Okay.
And that's
Okay,
the agenda
so
item.
then I will take that, what I just said, and said, my motion is to go back to the consent, the Ethics Committee to work with the ethics appointees to resolve these issues and then bring it back to the board. That's my motion.
I'll support that.
I want to speak before.
Yeah, I know, yeah. We have a first and second.
Yep.
I feel bad, they haven't even said a word yet.
Yep. Exactly. They're like, what happened to us? Thank you for coming out in the cold and go home.
Get out of here.
That's why we have coats.
You understand what we're proposing then?
Yes, we understand, and that's great. We would love to do that.
Okay.
We brought these questions forward because we didn't feel like we had any direction.
Right.
And we were looking for direction, and if that's how we get our direction, that's great. That'll answer our questions, and
Perfect.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, and you got three capable board members here that I don't think there's any issues, and then if they need to tap legal counsel, they can do that.
Okay.
And you've
What's your,
created an agenda for our meeting right here, so it's all ready to go.
What's a good time for you folks to meet? Is it usually after work hours, before dinner? What are you thinking?
Well, the 2/3 of us are here, and the 1/3, I don't want to speak for her, but I do work, so anything during the day would require me taking time off of work, which is possible. I don't want to rule that out, but for me, evenings are certainly an easier time.
I think probably evenings is better for most of us, too.
Would it be possible for you guys to email us like 3 or 4 dates that work for you, and then we'll narrow it down and...
Sure, we'll have to get back to Carol because
Yeah.
she's not here
Right.
tonight.
Okay, okay, good,
Yeah, we'll confer, the three of us, shoot you some dates,
good.
and figure that out.
Yeah, I would recommend before you leave this boardroom tonight that you get contact information for everybody.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you for taking the diligence to go through all the things and come up with those questions, because they are spending the time,
Yeah.
not just doing a willy-nilly and say, oh, yeah.
Perfect, thank you.
Thanks for coming. Roll call.
Tatowski?
Yes.
Cop?
Yes.
Olson?
Yes.
Stevenson? Yes. Nicely?
Yes.
Praviti?
Yes.
Babinski's a yes.
Okay, motion passed. Again, thanks for showing up. Next is 10.5, discussion of food truck ordinance and procedure.
Mr. Smelzer, if we can have you at the podium, but I would like to set this up, if that's okay with the board. So several months ago, Mr. Smelzer, our fire chief, approached this board to talk about the food truck ordinance and that. And we listened to him, and he says, you know, it's something that I think that we need. And once we got done, we made a motion, we voted on the motion, and I believe the motion was 7-0 to approve it, to go ahead and get this going. When this was first approached to this board, I had no knowledge of it. But myself and Mr. Kopp, we agreed to be on the committee for this right here.
Thank you, sir.
And since then, I know I have, and I know Mr. Kopp have, we have spent days looking at and reading and watching videos on food trucks. We wanted to educate ourselves. We wanted to know what we were walking into. We found out, at least I know I found out, that there's a lot of room for improvement here. And the number one improvement that we need is safety of our residents, because that is something that has been sorely overlooked with the food trucks for decades. And the amount of usage for food trucks and that, they're just growing exponentially every year. There's more and more of them. Yes, I realize that it will need monitoring. And yes, this board said 7-0, go ahead and support this. So we met with Chief Smelzer and our attorney, Mr. Siebert, and we went through this one time. And then we went back and we digested it, and we did some more research. And then we went back another time because we wanted to make sure that, number one, everything we were saying was legal, ethical, and moral, and we were doing the right thing for the community. When we got done, we walked out of that next meeting, we had an agreement of what we felt needs to be done. And it was something that this board supported 7-0 and said, yes, safety is a priority for our residents. So, Mr. Smelzer, I thank you for letting me be a little bit long-winded, but if you wouldn't mind, this is your show.
Yeah, just thank you guys for letting me come up here tonight. I'm sorry about the last 2 times. Sickness and deer hunting came priorities. So I'm here tonight. Real quick, we're going to go through this. This is probably about a 30-minute PowerPoint. I'm going to cut it down to probably 8. So
Timer's on.
we're going to go through this real quick. Yeah. Okay. As you can see, if you guys can read this way, because I can't read that way, so I'm going to go back to you all. So as you can see, there's just lots of data that says we should be having these trucks inspected. Okay, continue on. Okay, we're going to do a little YouTube thing, but it's not going to sound because WBRW didn't like me today. So, but these are just some of the explosions that happens because of food trucks not being inspected. Okay, so this was a food truck that was in a parking lot, and as you can see, definitely in the wrong place. Multiple vehicles around it, multiple people around there. And then there goes the tanks. So now most of these food trucks, they have, is that sounding good or am I getting too loud out, you guys? So most of these food trucks have propane tanks, LP, that goes to a kitchen type area, which usually has a fryer or a grill top. And anytime we have a grill top or a fryer, if it's in a, as some people like to call them, brick and mortars building, they're always inspected. Okay, they have to be inspected every 6 months. We go out there, we go inspect them whenever they have their C of O done. Both the building department and the fire department go out there to make sure that they're done correctly. And every 6 months, they have to have all the hood cleaned. They have to have new links put in there for that. So, again, public safety is all we're worrying about here. I don't care about politics. I never have. I'm not good at talking like that. But these are some of the things. We can move on. Okay? Thank you. That's Deborah Norville, if you guys remember from the
Yep.
I didn't mean get rid of the whole pro. Okay. So we'll continue on with it. So so the proposal we have here for our ordinance, we should come up with an ordinance just because it's impactful for our community. There's no reason why we shouldn't have an ordinance for a mobile food truck that has the same equipment on it than a brick and mortar building has, and we have to inspect that. We're allowing these trucks to go into parking lots. We're allowing them to go on streets. We're allowing children to come up next to them. Some of these tanks, there was one in here that a tank hadn't been hydro tested. If you guys know what hydro tested means, just like SCBA tanks, we have to get those done every year. But it hadn't been hydro tested since 1946. So that tells you that LP tank had not been inspected since then.
So the food truck was from 1946 too?
No, the food truck wasn't, because remember, it's an LP tank. It's like your barbecue. You can take it out and you can put another one in. So whenever we just say, okay, the guy from Trenton comes up here and we don't get to inspect it, well, he could have changed that tank along the way and we have no idea, okay? We don't know how old that tank was inside there. So at least by having an inspection, we go out there and make sure that tank is up to date. We make sure that the hood system's up to date, make sure the extinguishers are up to date. It's just the safety things that we'd normally do to any restaurant that was around here. So as you can see, we're going to continue on. It's just a bunch of fires, and this can happen going down the road. This could be on 53, could happen there. And it's just, and when we go MFV, that's just mobile food vehicle, because it doesn't have to be a truck. It can be any type of vehicle. So anyway, so you can see my inspection form. That's as simple as what it is. If you guys, and again, if anybody here wants to, just sort of like what you just did before, you guys can send it back to our committee. We can look it over. We can make changes, do what you think is necessary to come back. But we did do the due diligence of having multiple meetings, going through the lawyer, having him go through it, and this is what we came up with. If there's a problem with it, that's up to you guys to decide. I have no problem coming back. I'm good at taking punches and bring it back to us, okay? So this is what the ordinance is as of it sits right now. That's up to you guys to decide if you want it or not.
And Chief, this is looking at...
Can I just give you a clarification?
Yes, sir.
That's Chief Tyrell.
I'm sorry.
Okay? I'm Deputy Chief
Deputy
Fire Marshal,
Chief.
but I just want to make sure I didn't disrespect him, okay? So I appreciate the promotion.
But give me the
as
pay
usual
raise,
my
what goes
promotion,
with
you
it.
have to give me a raise, but
Well, we'll just give them some of yours,
Okay.
Stan. So the area that's been lacking in this right here that you hit on was the state of Michigan. They go ahead and they look at, okay, safe food handling, stuff like that, storage. But they don't look at the mechanical. They don't look at the gas, the tanks and that. They don't look at the electrical. I mean, there's boxes on these trucks that don't even have covers on them. And it's right there next to hot oil, next to propane. The lines haven't been tested, like you said, that one truck since 1946. If we allow those food trucks on our streets without them being inspected, every one of us should be voted off this board.
I agree. And this also addresses dumping the grease and the
Correct.
gray water. I mean,
Yeah.
who knows where they're putting it now?
Right. It's a very good point, because, as you know, normally they have to dispose of that into containers, right? Now, is it okay if they come up to Romeo Family Time and they empty from their food truck, put it into that grease container? Or, like we had 2 years ago, we had somebody who took their turkey fryer and dumped it into a drain, and then it turned out to go through the creek, and we had everybody from the county to Eagle out there, and it turned out just to be a chicken fryer grease. So, but it costs us lots of money to have that kind of stuff happen. Same thing if it's put into someone's, subdivision in a cul-de-sac. Next thing you know, they're going to be calling. We got people sliding, slipping, and whatnot. So,
Yeah. No, thank you. I think you guys did a really good job on this. I think it's an excellent document.
I do appreciate. I want to say Trustee Stevenson came to me a couple weeks ago. He expressed his opinion on it, expressed the reasons why, and I liked how you did that, where you gave me plenty of time to understand where you're coming from. Thank you, sir.
Where does this stand in firefighter community across the state, across the nation, in
I can't think
addressing this?
Yeah, I can't think of another community that doesn't have a food truck ordinance. I can't. Okay.
Clinton does.
Pardon me?
Clinton Township does.
They do? Yes, they do.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they have one. Yeah. Okay. I thought you said. As I said, I don't think there's another community that does not have one.
Double negative.
And again, this is kind of like how we get our stuff, which is the best way of doing it.
It's a double.
We take a little bit from each one of them,
Does not have.
and then we came up with what we thought was the best
do
out of
have
all
one.
of them.
That's what he's saying. No, he said a double negative. So he's saying that, yes, we're the only one that doesn't have one. All the rest
I
of
think
them.
we just didn't understand each other. It was just as simple as that.
Yeah, then I misunderstood you. But, wait, what?
Go ahead.
So then I'm confused.
Okay.
You said we're the only community that doesn't have a food truck
That I can
ordinance?
think of. Yeah, correct. And then you said Clinton, and I know Clinton does have one.
Okay. I go to a supervisor lunch and none of the supervisors have it except Clinton. That's why I'm confused.
Oh, they're the only one is what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I
Okay,
thought.
well,
I thought you said no one has a food truck ordinance. That's what I thought you said. And then I said Clinton did.
Yes, Clinton does, Shelby Township does.
Armada does.
Armada Township?
The bottom line is
And I
when
guess
we
they
have a
all
food
like to be-
fire truck, food truck fire, these are the guys we're calling.
Sarah said they do.
And it's their people that are going in there in harm's way to take care of this.
Exactly.
And we can take care of it up front.
Right.
Again, I mean, it's okay to be driving down the expressway going 100 miles an hour without a seatbelt until something bad happens. To say that we are just going to let something happen without any type of thing. Again, you guys are the board. At least I brought it to your attention. I brought something to you. If you guys decide something different, that's up to you. But I can at least sleep at night knowing that I brought it to you.
I do believe we do need one. The issue I see we have is we don't have anyone to go out and enforce this. So I don't know how we make the police department, maybe you know, Christine, how do you get others to enforce our policy? Just like we have the vendor policy, the only way we know is if someone calls us and says, hey, and I get a call on a Saturday, whatever, from somebody that tells me that someone's out there soliciting, and I call my staff and say, did anyone go in and file this week for a vendor license? And they say no. Then I call the police back up and say, hey, so-and-so called this place. Then they go out there and then they do something. But they're not just, if they see one, I think they're just going to drive by it and.
That could be correct, but we also have events where these vendor trucks come here. We know they're coming here, and we allow them, and there's no ramification. It's the same thing as if a restaurant opens up and we don't know it. And I mean, there's many businesses here over the last 30 years that I know have opened up and we had no concept until we went by it, saw it, and then we had it. Then we went out and got all the stuff that we needed to do afterwards. I don't know how to police it. Is something totally different. All I know is that if we should be at least getting a license through some way. I mean, you guys can figure that out, because I'm done trying with all you guys.
So when the health department does it, they don't check for anything, just the health-wise?
Pardon me?
The health department, they just check the health part of it, they don't check anything else?
Correct, yes. And also, they check it at a certain time.
Because I mean, like, I don't understand how a food truck guy is going to go to 27 communities and get permits for everything if they live in another city. I mean.
Yeah, at one time, we were trying to, in the county, to get it so it was one nice thing from, they go to one fire department, doesn't matter if it's East Point or if it's Roseville, they signed off there and it was good for the whole county. That never materialized because there's too many different people wanting too many different things.
Now, the one thing this board has talked about the last couple of years, and it is not coming to fruition, is to hire somebody to do ordinance enforcement. And the objection to us was given, well, we already have somebody to do this.
Yep.
And now I hear from the full-time elected officials is, we don't have somebody to do this. So I think that's a problem, that
I'm
the full-time
tired of hearing
so I have the
other
board. So I
boards
have
saying,
the floor.
I
have the floor, sir. I have the floor.
Okay, I didn't know you were the chair, but okay.
Doesn't matter if you're the chair, sir.
Okay.
We're all equal on this board. You know that. So here it is. We've asked to have an ordinance officer for the last couple of years. Last couple of years, we've been told, no, we have one. Now I'm hearing we don't have one, but doesn't want to enforce the ordinance. That's the issue. So that's a separate issue from the food truck ordinance.
Yeah.
The food truck ordinance is a good ordinance. It's necessary, it's needed. We need to protect our residents. We can't let these uninspected vehicles go into our neighborhoods and potentially blow up.
Yeah. We may not get all of them, but we can get some.
Christina, I wish you would speak up about our ordinances, how we've gotten it down from 5 pages from 2020 down to one line item from our ordinance enforcement.
I have no issue whatsoever with your ordinance enforcement.
Yeah,
And I work very well with
dramatically. It was ignored. When I took office, I had over 5 pages of lines, and it's down to 1. And it's because our building department's been handling that. And I'm tired of the PC members talking that we don't have ordinance, and now you're saying that we do.
Ordinance enforcement and the manner in which it's handled is a problem for every growing community. Getting an ordinance in place is your first step, deciding how you're going to enforce it, whether it's going to be your building official, whether it's going to be a brand-new code enforcement officer, whether it's going to be the wonderful sheriff's deputies that you have. That's a separate issue.
People move to a township for less rules, not to make it another Warren or Sterling Heights.
Your building official that does the code enforcement does an excellent job at working with the residents and getting resolutions without having to go into court. They've done an excellent job.
Just an additional comment. I know I was one that was concerned about maybe not so much an ordinance, but my view of having our local businesses not paying taxes and then food trucks coming in and basically not paying anything for whenever they set up. I did hear some information that basically said that from the Food Association that they really don't have an impact on them. I probably beg to differ with that, but this stemmed even bigger with this looking into the safety issues.
When Romeo does all their festivals with food trucks, so Bruce Township investigates all they have.
I couldn't tell you.
But you just
I can't
told me
speak
all
for them.
communities have an ordinance, that's why I'm asking.
I didn't say all. I said all of what I can remember do. okay? I mean, we can be semantics on what the
No, I'm just
wording
asking a
is.
question. I'm trying
I don't know what they do.
And they do affect the brick and mortar. Last time there was a food truck here, October 18th, there was one out front in the parking lot. I took the next day, I called all of the restaurants in the area, and I asked if their sales were affected by having that food truck here. Most of them wouldn't talk to me, but one did. They said they were down a couple $1,000s. They didn't want their name mentioned, but it does affect the brick and mortar buildings.
They sold 20
Paying
lunches
taxes.
that day at $14 each.
Okay, they didn't have a permit though either.
This ordinance is about safety.
Yep.
Not about food, it's about safety.
I'm all for the safety feature of it. I know the fire crew does a great job, and they want to make sure that everybody is safe. I think some of the wording in here is an overreach on what Township should be able to do. Taking an oath, what's that going to do? You're going to have an 18-year-old who's a driver that comes up here and takes an oath, and he's gone 60 days later because he found another job. I just think that this should go back and institute more of a safety issue factor than a regulatory factor by the Township Board. If we are concerned about the safety, that's the area that we need to start with first. If we need to expand it to other areas within this document over here, we can certainly do so. But I think we need to go back and just concentrate on the safety feature first, and then worry about placement, permits, the building department. Are they even willing, not willing, but are they even have the manpower to do that at this particular point? There's a lot of things that we need to take care of, but if we did the safety of it first, I think that would be a better start. In terms of Township Township businesses already have a tax ID number with the Township, maybe we provide them with an additional discount since they're already Township businesses, but they got to have a parcel ID tax number in order to do that. If they're out of the Township without a parcel tax ID number, then they would be charged the higher rate. But we need to start with the safety first. I agree with everybody here, but I think the document that it is here is somewhat of an overreach based upon Township regulations. For example, taking the oath in other areas that aren't here. But I think if we start with the safety features of it first and work from there, that's what I would like to see.
So what would you remove?
Well, I would just, if it were me on there, I would take out everything that involved regulations with the Township, getting the permit, food inspection trucks by the building department.
What sections are we talking, sir?
I think I've got to look it in here again. The food truck permit, I think it's section 5. I think the scale drawing is kind of difficult. They are mobile people, so if there's a car that's parked in that specific area and they've already applied for that scale drawing, maybe somebody's having a party in that area, how are they going to sit in that one specific area if this car is already parked in that spot over there? It says in here, the document shall identify the site where the food trucks will be located and operated. Some subdivisions have them, some don't have them in there. If the Township is going to decide the site and locations of these and where they're going to operate, maybe they don't want them in that specific area while other areas do. That's just some of the examples in here. I'd have to go through it in more detail again. But the grease disposal on the site is great. The vendors on the property Township are great. The strobe lights are good, the music, portable signs. I think that, if we went back and asked everybody for their opinion and then resubmitted it back to the committee, that would be the starting point from there.
I'd like to make a suggestion then. Everybody should get together, since they've had this for 3 months already. Each one of you should write down what your what your problems are, and then you can send it back to us.
Yeah.
Because coming up here and doing this has been a waste of time for all of us. It really has. I mean, if you knew beforehand that we weren't going to go across this thing, then why did I come here? I really wish I would have had some feedback. I get calls for everything, it seems like, but I couldn't get any calls for this, besides Mr. Stevenson. So I'd appreciate you guys take the time, read it this time, get back to us, and let us know what you think is wrong. And we can come back again. No different than a development that comes here.
I think it's perfect, so you're good.
Again, I'd like something in writing, email form sent back
Okay.
stating that.
I'd like to thank the Deputy Chief for the work that he's done on this, and Mr. Dedkowski. We worked long and hard on this. We modeled this after an existing ordinance that's already in place. We had our legal counsel go through it. They spent a bunch of time on it. I listened to some of the comments. I think those comments are all addressed in here. I think that the safety aspect of this is clear. Basically, the fire department is going to become our safety inspection unit. They're the ones that are going to decide whether these things are safe or not based on these ordinances. The comment about brick and mortar, I think that the fact that we're charging them, I don't even remember what it was, $50 or $75 to come into the area.
It's very nominal.
Is basically the charge for the brick and mortar. So the township winds up getting some equity out of this and some revenue for the fact that they're going to be here. The comment about where they're going to be, that's up to them. They have to decide where they want to park. They have to come up with the drawing. That's not something we should decide, nor should we be critical of where they are unless they want to park it in the middle of a green field that's full of straw and they're going to light up the whole area. We should know that. But it's up to them to decide where they want to park it. They want to park in front of the building or in the neighborhood. We should know where these things are. That's one of the things that this thing does, is it tells the residents and it tells us. It tells the fire department where one of these things are going to be parked. Right now, they just bring them into the township and they park them wherever they want. Nobody knows what's going on with them. All of a sudden, one of these, God help us, one of these things explode, somebody's going to tune for maximum smoke and try to drive toward it. We don't even know where it is. So if anything else, this thing protects the township, it protects the residents. I'm all for it the way it is. I see no reason to kick the can down the road. Again, I want to thank the chief Assistant Chief, for what he's done. And I would make a motion to approve this the way it is.
I support.
And that would be approved for first publication.
First publication, yeah.
I have a question. Well, you got a support from Olson. I have a question for legal counsel. We currently in our ordinance do not allow commercial operations in residential areas. Is this now allowing commercial operations to happen in residential areas?
It wouldn't be any different than an ice cream truck going through a neighborhood.
Which this ordinance now allows, which, right, thank you for that.
So it's not allowing a commercial operation in the sense that the operation is going to be there for
24/7.
a specified period of time, right? I mean, it's not going to be open dawn to dusk.
Any questions from the audience on the motion? Otherwise, roll call.
Kopp?
Yes.
Olson?
Yes.
Tatowski?
Yes.
Stevenson?
No.
Nicely?
Not as it is written, no.
Praviti?
No.
And Babinski is going to be a yes, because I want to see something happen with this. We can always revisit this after maybe a season to determine, do we have it right? Are there things we need to tweak?
Okay, motion passed.
Thank you.
Next item is new business.
Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Chief.
Deputy
Melver.
Chief, sorry.
If it's okay, I'd like to move up 11-6 Pathway, Spalding to Becker.
Yep.
Oh, well, I guess it didn't matter, both of them are, sorry.
Want to do 11-1 first? then
Yeah, sorry, we'll
11-6?
do 11-1 first about the easement acquisition.
Certainly. Taylor Reynolds with Spalding DeDecker.
So, Rich can chime in too if you'd like. So our sidewalk gap program, we have a numerous amount of sidewalk easements that we need to obtain. It's very hard to find someone that can go around and do this. We also have water and sewer easements we're trying to obtain. So Spalding DeDecker's here to present, to help us with the acquisition of sidewalks portion of it. I guess that's
Yes, for the last
overall.
several years, we've
Sorry.
been designing pathway segments for construction to expand the pathway systems on the major roads throughout Washington Township. And what the hurdle we've come across in the last couple of years is the need for easements across private properties. That hurdle has held us up from constructing the projects that are fully designed and permitted. Last year's construction, we moved forward several small segments into this year's construction, hoping that we could get easements. Unfortunately, the township staff has not had time to put the energy towards that easement acquisition, and so we've put together a proposal that's in front of you this evening for us to take that on.
So we have roughly 125 water and sewer easements to get. We also have, after this, I think this one involves 19 easements and 2 ITC easements. And the sidewalk committee up there knows they're a pain in the neck to get from ITC. I need some help, okay? I just can't do this. I get help when we do water and sewer with Mike, or if we done it with Fishbeck, and we just have to look out. We can't, unless you hire another person, next year's budget. I mean, easements take a long time. I'm not, and you got to have a certain way talking to the people, and, you know, they're dead against most of it, especially sidewalks, because they can see it, you know, whereas underground, it's a little bit different. You know, it's in the ground, we won't see it for 20 years or whatever. I don't know.
So the numbers, if I have this correctly, you need 125 water and sewer easements this year?
Not from them. Coming up this next year, next 2 years, let's say.
All right, and who are those from? Or that's just your department?
We're going to try to do some of them, but we also have we got a couple companies coming in there to give us a bid to see if they can help out.
All right, so Spalding DeDecker is not in this. How many easements are we looking at right now?
For them to do is 21. 19 from them and 2 from us.
All right, so you got 21 times 3,600. So you're looking at 75,600 is what we're talking about. Should this go out for bid?
The problem is there's nobody that does this. They're doing this as a favor because.
No, they're not doing it as a favor. They're getting paid.
Well, yeah, but
doing it as a favor means, hey, then I'll come over and clean your barn out later.
We've reached out to several people and they don't do it anymore.
So
we've been working on this for 2 years trying to find someone to do this.
The cost seems like really, really high.
Well, it's still in our budget because we've underspent on the sidewalk gap program by over
I know,
100,000.
but just because we have the money doesn't mean we should just spend it.
Well, we can't
without-
spend it on sidewalk either. We won't have the easement.
Just trying to be careful with taxpayers' money here.
is there any wiggle room there on the 3,600?
The proposal is written up as time and materials not to exceed, and so we will only charge what we spend. The $600 per parcel is the title work, and that is a pass-through cost. We can separate that out and have the township order those directly, but our surveyors have.
So what was your average cost last year?
We have not performed this service for Washington Township yet.
I thought you did last year.
We have designed the pathways and we've provided the exhibits, but we have not been involved in easement acquisition for Washington Township. We have for other communities, and those have averaged $3,700 per parcel, but we believe with our connections here that we're comfortable with $3,600.
Currently,
We're-
we're
we're-
our DPW director and assistant director. get
Dan, we're the
easements
ones that
across
go
the
out.
Well, that's fine, I'm just
We're the
getting
ones that have been
information.
going out every day, you know.
I'm just
to
getting
do 'em.
information.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
so
I'm
Don't
saying.
take it as an attack or anything, just getting information.
Not attacking anyone.
So this would include, I looked at my notes for the sidewalk meeting, all the ones on 32 Mile Road. So what would happen if, like, a lot of people are just going to say no? How much time are you spend on it before you just, they just say no? And it's kind of, it's not going to happen.
We're going to end up with some of those, but most people are going to consider improvements to their property. As you'll see in the details here, we'll work with the township to determine what value the township's willing to offer, or if there are other proposed improvements. We've had projects in the past where we've offered some visual landscaping, separation, and some other items that the parcels have been interested in.
I know that easement acquisition is huge, and it's the reason why there's a lot of areas that really need sidewalks, and they don't have them. I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second that motion. I'm satisfied with the answers I received.
Okay, motion by Olson, seconded by Dukowski. Any questions from the audience? Otherwise, roll call.
Olson.
Yes.
Dutowski.
Yes.
Babinski is yes. Praviti.
Yes.
Nicely.
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yes.
And Cop.
No, I think it should go out for bids.
Motion passes 6-1. Next, if it's okay, we'll move 11, the new item 11-6, I think it's called.
Yep.
This just came in,
May I interrupt 1 second?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have seen it. I saw it on Facebook. Today I saw it in person, but the new fire truck that's going to serve the residents here is absolutely fabulous. They're still gearing it up in that. They're still getting it prepped in that. So it's going to be a little bit while before it gets into service. But the new truck over at Fire Station Number 1 is absolutely beautiful, and it's going to serve this township for a long time. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you, Mr. Praviti, for allowing me that.
I asked Spalding, with the recent acquisition of Hawks Acres, and to connect to Orchard Ridge next door to it, it made perfect sense. We still had room. Was this part of our year 2 or year 3 gap? Sorry. We included it, I know.
We will, if it is fully designed and permitted in time, which we expect this to be a pretty fast design process because there's not environmental concerns out there, then we will include it in this next year's bid that could be constructed this year.
And basically, we'll get connectivity with the church and give sidewalk improvement in front of Hawks Acres.
Well, then that subdivision, that's.
And then Cantor.
Yeah, the subdivision, yeah, Cantor Farms, that's being built in the spring, that'll connect with it as well. So it'll be a nice big segment along Mound. So basically, this is the proposal you're seeing for that additional sidewalk gap there for designing.
What prompted this all of a sudden to come up?
This was at the sidewalk committee meeting.
Oh, so you guys have...
Dennis, can you speak into the mic, because I can't hear you down here? Thank you.
This was discussed at the last sidewalk meeting that Cindy, I don't think it was at that meeting.
We
No,
have,
I was in Florida.
yeah, no, it's okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. So we have the church that's got sidewalk, subdivisions being built. We own the property in the middle, so I thought it would make sense to connect all 3 parcels. And it would basically bring us from a little north of 29 all the way to 30, basically on Mound.
So Orchard Ridge is on board, they're going to pay for their portion?
They already
have a sidewalk.
Already did theirs.
Oh, they already did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's connecting to theirs.
Got it. Okay, so that we got the gap, which is Hawks Acres, which we own now.
Yeah.
And then
We
another
would be the
segment.
culprit in the middle.
Yeah, yeah. Well, now it's
Cantor
us.
is the one that'll be to the south, that's next to
Yeah,
Hawks Acres.
yeah. And they're on board? Or is that already in?
They have no
They have no
choice.
choice to put it as.
That's part of a new
They
development.
got a site
That was part
plan.
of planning commission. You should.
Well, it doesn't come to us yet, but okay. I
It
get
was
it.
already approved.
Okay.
So I guess my question is, since I wasn't at the sidewalk meeting, why is this, has this moved its way up to the top of the line? Aren't there other ones that are more important that we've gauged need to be done first? I know we have an order of importance, and this one just seems to move up to the top.
I just thought it made sense to connect the two properties, and plus we
Oh,
own it.
yeah, of course.
We're
But
we're
right
trying to
now-
enforce other property, and we're not doing it to our own. It seems kind of bad.
And with the township owning this, we don't have an easement issue.
We just saved $3,600.
Good point.
When are they breaking ground on the new development?
They dropped off the plans this morning.
Huh? Okay, so when?
It's going to happen any day. As soon as the ground thaws.
Yeah, I wouldn't say any day then.
Any questions from the audience?
Did our engineer get a chance to look at these, the costs on here? Mike, did you have a chance to look at this?
No, Spalding's our engineer for sidewalk.
So, do we know whether or not, okay, now I'm going to tie Mike to this thing. Are these numbers valid? I mean, if you haven't seen it and you're not responsible, you don't have to weigh in, but I'm just concerned whether or not, again, we're single sourcing this thing, and, we're looking at $214,000 for one stretch of sidewalk.
And this
Well, no, that's got to go out to bid. We're only approving the 16,500.
Just the engineering?
Yes.
Oh, well,
Yeah, it'll be
that's better
public.
now. Okay.
Oh, my God, no.
Okie dokie then. Thank you.
Just the design service.
Good deal. Thank you.
If you
Never
want
mind,
to
Mike.
approve it, but we didn't get any quotes on it yet.
Okie dokie.
Quick question though, since Gary brought it up, so the 214,000. I see now the construction contingency is up to 30%.
Right, we haven't done any topographical survey or anything, and our fee is actually based off of the subtotal rather than the total including the contingency. Just want you to be prepared in case there's things out there when we do the
I knew it was
investigation.
10%, then it went to 15, then it went to 20, and now it's at 30, and it's like, it's a lot of creep here.
At this point, we're just looking at the design services. It will be competitively.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I get that. Just my comment on 30%.
I shall make the motion to approve Spalding Deductor for the design services for the proposal of Hoxacres Pathway. This would
16.5.
$16,500.
And I will
And then this will
support
be coming out of the sidewalk gap fund. Thanks.
that. And I will support that.
Okay, motion by Babinski, seconded by Dukowski. Any questions? Otherwise, roll call.
Babinski's a yes. Datowski?
Yes?
Cop?
Yes.
Stevenson? Yes. Nicely?
I'm going to vote yes, but I think we need to be cautious about the money that we're spending on some things. So I'm going to vote yes, and we need to take a look at the budget items that are in there. So you'll see more later on.
Praviti?
Yes.
And Olson?
Yes.
Okay, motion passed. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Taylor.
Thank you.
Next is 11.3, resolution for election worker wages 2024.
All right, I don't have everything here because I got all kinds of papers stumbling through. So if you haven't noticed over there, video camera, swing over there. Mary Germez, our deputy clerk, is here tonight, working late along with the other staff over there, trying to get ballots out that need to go out this week. And then she was working on, along with me, on a couple of different election items, one being the wages. I don't have any of that in front of me because all my
Here, I
stuff
have
is
all
in
this
everything.
if you
I'll just give basically, we're asking to restructure some of the ways in which our staffs have been paid. Before, they used to be lump sum, now we're looking at hourly because we used to have only all-day sessions in which people got paid. Now we have this 9-day, and there are less hours than what the full ones were.
Right.
And we're trying to be competitive with all the other townships in the area so we can get election workers to work in all our sites. Again, I don't have it in front of me, but I know in my head some of the things that are there. Sure. So she shows on here the breakdown of how many precincts we had versus what is now going to be out there. So you see the wages in which we were paying, and you see all the cost savings in which we have on by doing what we're doing, even though we still have people coming in to do 9-day early voting. What was the other part I was going to say? I said competitive.
During the 9 days of early voting, the state is going to be reimbursing for
Yes.
those wages. But we wanted to be able to be competitive amongst all the different municipalities, because during those bigger elections, it is more difficult to find people to work for us, people that are capable of doing the job, people who aren't as scared of the equipment. So that can be challenging at times. But with the reimbursement costs that we are going to be receiving from the state, we do also want to make it repetitious. And also with the decrease in our precincts, that's about 35 less people that we have to hire. So even with the proposed increases, we would still be saving money, quite a bit,
And
actually.
again, just a small little note thing that we did have a meal voucher on there, $5. I don't think $5 buys you anything anymore, so we did remove that $5 because we were increasing wages. So that is also reflected in a savings, but also still a pay increase happening to all the election workers.
I think it's a good idea. It's a difficult job. It can be daunting and can be scary. Some people get angry.
Yes.
And I appreciate all the people who do it. I've done it many times, and it's a very long day.
Yes.
I have a couple comments. One of which was, I think I read it in the MTA magazine, and I think it was this month, as a matter of fact. They were talking about the added burden to the clerk's office of these particular functions, and they were talking about the clerk's role, the deputy clerk's role, and some of the staff's role in this new election process, and how some of these responsibilities that get pushed down are really not part of their job responsibilities, and that we ought to be paying additional salaries for those additional roles, even to the clerk. So I'm offering that up as an opportunity for the clerk to weigh in here. Number two, the pay schedule that's in here, I found it interesting that the chairperson is making $18 an hour, but yet a temporary election staff person is making $20 an hour. I would propose that the chairperson should be making at least as much as a temporary election staff person makes, and move that up to $20 an hour without I don't know, to me, it just makes more sense. Chairperson's
if I
riding the
may.
herd, so. they should
Yep,
be
I'll let
making
you
at least
speak,
as
and then
much.
I'll step on if there's anything I didn't like.
So that temporary election worker, those are our in-office staff members. They are the ones that are dealing with all the customers day to day. They're answering the phone calls, dealing with the irate people, handling the people at the counter, dealing with the lines. They are stuffing ballots, making the phone calls, processing all the applications, everything that all of our permanent staff does.
And I even make them lick the stamps even though they're self-stick. When I'm on there, good. So.
That's a scary thought. Isn't it $20 for the class, to take the class?
I think so. Training is $20 an hour also, yeah.
I don't see where you're showing. It's
Training
actually
is
$15.
$20 per class.
Yep.
Per class.
$20 per class.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
And that is unchanged.
Well, Mary, do you have any objections to raising the chairperson's salary up to $20 an hour?
I do not personally have any objections. I just want you to understand the difference. The chairperson is the person at the polling location for just that one day versus the temporary election staff are here in the office all day, every day prior to the election.
So that chairperson, you're looking at 15 hours, and you're talking $2 an hour more, so you're looking at $30.
And this is just our suggestions. If your board wants to make a proposal to do that, I'm sure our workers would appreciate the extra money as well. But, this was our proposal to you, showing, hey, this is what we think is a fair going rate out there to make sure that we do have election workers working for us here in our township.
And you got these figures from other townships?
The $15 an hour is directly related to what the state is going to reimburse for the 9 days of early voting. So we're trying to keep that repetitious. It is an increase from what we were already paying our workers at the flat rate. So everybody is getting an increase, but certainly if you want to increase the 18 to the 20 for chair people, I would have no objection to that. I think that's very kind of you.
So, question. We're getting reimbursed 100% for these costs for the 9 days, right?
$15 per person during the 9-day people.
We would not be getting.
But not the $15 for,
Election day workers.
we're not getting it reimbursed for them?
Nope.
Okay. Did we have money in the budget to do all of this? If we
Well,
weren't getting
so again,
reimbursed?
that's the problem with our budget right now. As I had mentioned in previous meetings, our budget is going to be blown because of all these things that are happening now, which is last year's budget, not the budget coming up. So from equipment to people to the days, all that stuff is all extra thrown onto a budget. We had no idea this was all coming.
State mandated.
Yeah.
We have already began pre-planning for the next fiscal year with the increased amounts. We have been planning that all along, but for this fiscal year, there's been a lot of changes, a lot of updates, a lot of things that we've had to additionally purchase because of new laws.
So in 2028, when you look at that budget, that's the one that'll really have to increase.
Really for the next fiscal year, so you're looking at.
2024, 25.
Oh, yes.
Right, I get
Yep.
that, yep.
Mhm.
And then also again for 2028, 29.
Yep, for any election, really.
Yeah, any election.
Again, whatever new wrinkles, whatever may happen through all this whole process of.
And then if there's an election at the 2-year cycle.
Yep.
You're going to need it there too.
Yes.
So all that's got to be looked at
And then you got
every year.
special ones that show up. Like this last year, we had like 5 different special elections because everyone kept on moving seats. So it's nothing you can plan for.
No.
To address your second issue from the MTA. I agree with what they say, that a lot of the stuff that has been thrown on us is not what, quote, we signed up for. But then I had to sit there and go, okay, I'm on the Board of Trustees that says, we just had union negotiations, we just had this, we just had that. How do I now turn around and say, now let's also compensate, one being myself, the deputy clerk, and the election workers that are here full-time already for all the extra work, other than, like tonight, they're getting paid overtime to be doing the ballots and things of that nature. But again,
And when
triple the amount of, how many cards did we send out? 3 different cards already?
Yes.
That, we got to keep track which ones went out, when the mail got there, who's calling in, which one is it that you got? Is it the blue one? Is it the white little one? All these questions we're juggling around our brain, and we don't know what they're really saying is the one that's red, white, and blue. There was 2 of them. Now we got to say, is it the one with the one in the corner that you can put a checkbox in, or is it the one without that? So, and they don't know what they're signing or thinking about. So we're on the phones. We have to now also text and email for all the people that are on the ballot to get permanent ballots. If we haven't got their stuff yet, then we got to send them out, what ballot do you want right now? So we have, 2,000 phone calls and text emails that we got to send out right now of people who have not responded back yet.
Yes.
We got 4,000 ballots that are getting ready to be sent out. So it's crazy over there.
I think the notion from MTA was basically anything that's incremental to the daily work assignments that you do. Sounds like some of this stuff is what you would normally do during a normal election anyway. You're probably just doing more of it now because you got, more stuff going out.
You got 3 different processes you're doing now too.
Right. So I guess my spin would be is if you're currently containing it on normal work hours, it's probably not something you'd be compensated for because you're currently doing it with normal work hours. Anything in addition to that, Mary's time too for that matter, if she's working additional time, and I think she's bound by the union contract, so she gets paid overtime anyway. In your case, probably not.
Yep.
So I guess I would look for a recommendation from you in terms of, okay, I'm going to work X number of hours. Anything in addition to that is something I should be compensated for.
I don't know how to give you an answer on that, to be honest. You're looking at me to tell the public, hey, give me a pay raise for the work that we're doing. And again, it's not, quote, what I signed up for, whatever. The rules have changed for all of us that got put in that.
That's why I'm making the proposal,
Yeah.
or asking the question, I guess.
Or comp time.
So
Could be comp time.
Well, there is no such thing as comp time for elected officials.
Yeah. Right.
Our full-time elected officials, we don't have comp time or any of that kind of stuff. So,
I heard a lot of clerks are not even going for reelection next year because of all this.
there was a survey that went out last year that said about 58% of the clerks.
Wow.
Thinking about not coming back.
Wow. Because of all this?
Yep.
Wow.
Again, we get yelled at for doing what we're supposed to, and we get yelled at because we didn't do what we were supposed to. So we have a no-win situation over there. We have to be neutral. We have to, be positive and nice. Everybody who walks in, doesn't matter what they're doing. I had someone walk in the other day that were talking about voting, and I think they were thinking about the caucus that was going on in Iowa. But they thought it was happening here in Michigan. So again, over the holidays, I opened up the election boxes at the 2 locations. They specifically state on their ballot boxes, not for regular mail that we are sending out, even though it says for your ballot requests, it's not for ballots. I did it because people were saying that they were wanting it over there, so I opened up. So now we have an additional thing of going out and checking ballot boxes that we wouldn't be doing unless ballots were already put out. So they've been up for almost 2 weeks now? Yes. That we've been going out and checking boxes to get whatever mail is in there. Which requires a form to be filled out every single time that we go and check the little box. So, I said, again, I don't know how to answer your question, Gary, regarding that portion. I do think there is a lot of additional, again, it's not so many, the amount of hours, yes, that wears on you. This is not everyone thinks the election's, in February and it's over and done. No, we've been planning since November. And because of all the changes that are happening, we get little pieces. And then we get another little piece and another piece. And we're still waiting for equipment. And we still got testing to do. And we still got this to do. At the same time, we're trying to get ballots out. At the same time, we've got them coming in. So I think the stress is a bigger factor than the hours worked. It's the amount of stress that you're doing. Because, yes, you still have to do all the other duties that we do over there. So when you ask me if I'm at work, what I'm doing, I'm losing my mind is what I'm doing, generally.
Of all the things I'll miss.
But we have a good group, and we're working together, and we laugh at the same time we're crying, so we can get through it all. And
Good job.
So
Good job.
I don't know if you want to make a motion on either part of this to do a resolution on the wages, if you want to increase it, or if you want to do it as stated, but
Since I opened
I think
my
that's about
mouth,
the only
I guess
thing I
I'll
would
be
like
the
to
one to make the motion. I see only one thing, just to approve the table that's in here. Is that that's the entire motion
basically the
then?
resolution of the wage increases, yep.
Yeah. Be it resolved that Washington hereby agrees to the following precinct election inspector fees. I would move to increase the chairperson's salary up to $20 an hour. Co-chair would be $18 an hour. Inspector at $15 an hour. Students at $100, 8 hours maximum per day. On-call people, $25 per day. Training, $20 per class, but they must work on election day. The receiving board at $75, I'm assuming that's per day. And temporary election staff would also be at $20 per hour. That's my motion.
I'll support that.
Motion by Kopp, seconded by Dukowski. If no questions, roll call.
Kopp?
Yes.
Zatowski?
Yes.
Olson?
Yes.
Nicely?
Yes.
Stevenson?
Yes.
Pavidi?
Yes.
And Babinski's a yes.
Next is 11.4. I had Bob Siebert, our attorney, write up this resolution that's similar to other communities. Candace Miller right now, she's been opposing this state legislation that basically would raise water rates. It's projected like at least $2 a month. So that's basically the long and short of it. I know it's been on the news a lot. So basically, the attached resolution that you see, we're joining other communities in Macomb County to oppose the proposed water affordability legislation to our state. And I know through the MTA and other communities, we're all trying to reach out to our state representatives, state senators, to try to encourage them to fight this legislation that they're trying to propose.
Mr. Supervisor, if I might, one of the things that I gleaned by looking at this, and maybe I'm going to look at Rich for explanation on this, this thing says $2 per month per meter. Washington Township has a second meter in there for outdoor sprinkling. Do they get assessed $2 extra for that meter?
I don't know for sure, but I'll bet that they use that.
I'll bet it is.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not $24 for those who have a second meter, it's really $48 a year incrementally that's going toward this.
And it says it may go up to $36 per customer.
Yeah, up to 36.
And the ironic thing is that we already have this fund from and now they want to duplicate it.
They want more.
Yeah.
Yep, but they say it's not going to Detroit.
No, it's going to someplace up north.
Yeah.
That's on Wells.
You got a bridge I want to sell you.
PA 51.
Yeah.
I make a motion to approve this resolution.
I'll support.
Motion by Stevenson, seconded by Babinski. No questions? Otherwise, roll call.
I have a question, real quick. Is this going to do any good? We think this is going to actually
Well,
stop?
it's better than doing nothing.
Well, okay.
But I mean,
yeah,
you can call
I see
your
that.
state rep, state senator.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
encouraging everyone to do that.
Tell everybody, call. Yeah, thank you.
I mean, I think out of the 27 communities in Macomb, we're going to be like number 10 or 11.
Okay.
So, and I know Bruce is voting on it tonight too, so. I think Bob gave him the same one we have. Phil will call me on it.
Change the name.
Okay, then roll call, sorry.
Stevenson.
Yes.
Babinski is a yes. Scott.
Yes.
Olson.
Yes.
Gutowski.
Yes.
Nicely.
Yes.
And Praviti.
Yes, motion passed. Back to the clerk said, approve revised early voting municipal
Yeah,
agreement.
so Mary gave me a copy at the end here, so it's highlighted at the very end as to what's all, I don't know if your copies were highlighted at all regarding some of the changes. Did any of it like come grade or anything like that?
No.
Okay. Again, I'm going to rely on her to fill in when I'm doing it. So again, we are going to be the early voting center. We had passed this agreement previously. It's just an addendum amendment to that. Under the early voting equipment information, it said the Board of Election Commissions responsible for testing the equipment will be Washington Township. Under the Board of Elections Commissions, the EV testing equipment is Washington Township. Under the appointment of election workers, it will be all the commissions will be doing that. Under the appointment of the EV canvassing receiving board, it will be all commissions for there. We are removing the Exhibit B site supervisors.
Just the two columns.
Just the two, okay, where it says supervisor at early voting site 2.
Yep.
And I'm assuming that says 3 at the next one over there. But this says for each one of the days, who will be the supervisor of those dates. And then the last page, which is Exhibit C, is the right of the EV equipment, and this is probably the biggest part of the whole thing. So the early voting site has a ballot on demand printer, known as a BOD. The DS2000 tabulators is what you go into the election sites and put your ballots in. You have your express votes, which are your sort of little tiny.
Handicap accessible machines?
Yes, handicap accessible, so that if you, I don't know how familiar with, I know Cindy and Dennis are familiar with, but if you're handicap accessible or having problems doing a ballot, it's a marker, so it marks the ballot for you, and then you take it in and then cast it into the ballot system. We have ID scanners that we need to buy 3 of those. And then we had to get election poll books, which cannot be used for anything else but the early voting. So it's giving up, it's just line by line, who's giving up what rights and who has a right to one of those items.
Okay.
So again, right now, we're footing the bill on all these things, and we will be distributing what funds, once everything gets in, as to everything, how it happens. Anything else?
Basically, this is just kind of cleaning up and detailing a few more items that weren't previously in the agreement. We had not specified what was going to happen with that equipment if and when anybody decided to opt out of it. So that's just kind of specifying that and detailing that out, a little bit of cleanup and just putting in those extra words, basically.
I have a question that's related to voting, but nothing to do with this. So the electronic poll books, we had a group here, 2023, several times. They wanted the information. What's the state ruling on that right now?
So it's still in a court case.
That's in litigation. That's in litigation. I don't recommend you discuss it.
I'm sorry?
That's in litigation. I
Litigation.
don't recommend you discuss it at this point.
Okay. Good enough for me.
I can talk to you later about what I know.
I make a motion to enter into the agreement with election services between Washington, Bruce, and Ray Township in Macomb County.
Support.
Motion by Stevenson, seconded by Dukowski. Any questions on the motion? Otherwise, roll call.
Stevenson?
Yes.
Datowski?
Yes.
Kopp?
Yes.
Savidi?
Yes.
Nicely?
Yes.
Babinski is a yes, and Olson.
Yes.
I almost forgot who I was there for a second.
Next, we have elected officials update, community announcements. I wish the chief didn't leave. I wanted to thank them. So this past Saturday, we were unfortunate. We had a bad fire here on the township. It was a total loss of the house. It was on Kittle Road between 27 and 28. It was like a terrible situation. Our tanker truck had to go back and forth because there's no hydrants on Kittle Road, so they had to go back and forth between 27 and 28 to bring water to the scene. I want to thank the other adjoining communities for helping us, Bruce Township, Ray Township, Shelby Township, Armada, Macomb, and Rochester Hills, and Utica that helped fill our stations as the firefighters were on scene to fight the fire. Between the icy roads, the high winds, the no hydrants, it just made it very terrible. Luckily, the family was out of the house. The husband was outside building a pole barn. The wife with the 3 young children, I should say, they were actually across the street visiting because they had lost power. So they were out of the house. So anyway, they saw the house on fire from the front and the back, which was bad.
Oh, my goodness.
I know there's a lot of chatter on social media. I'm sure they're insured and everything, but everything's a total loss. All their memories, clothing, everything. The community's really come together. They've actually got an abundance of clothing. A neighbor of the brother of the victims here in this thing, she's posted her address online that she lives here in Washington, that she's collecting food and toiletries, or the gift cards, I guess I should say, but mainly toiletries they need. And I didn't think it was right for all these people to go to the house, so we've set up a box here at the Township Hall. So if anybody would like to make a donation or anything, we'll make sure the family, we have the husband and wife's phone number. They'll come here every couple of days to check on the box. And we've already gotten some toiletries here in the collected. But the general public just doesn't, I got to be careful on my statement here, but these tanker trucks hold 6,000 gallons of water, which translates to 6 seconds. So people think the trucks showed up without water. They have water. It's just the water comes out of the pressure that's needed, and it's just comes out way too fast. I mean, it
Depletes.
how do you say
It depletes from the.
Yeah, it depletes from the truck so fast, and it's the proper pressure, but that's why we need more hydrants, which the last 3 years, we've added over 25,000 feet of water. Hopefully this year, we're supposed to add another 10,000 feet, but it's just one of those problems we have in that area. But like I said, between the snow, the ice, the high winds, and the lack of water, it was a no-win battle but obviously I thank all of the men and women for their bravery in this tragedy.
It's the same thing as even if they draft it from a pond in the middle of winter when it's full of ice, how do they do that?
Yeah, no, I mean, everyone talks about ponds and wells, and it would have been frozen, and it's just, yeah, I mean, it's just a bad situation. I don't.
Why we need water all throughout the township.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know I've gotten several calls from other neighbors. They're concerned now that they don't have fire hydrants, but it's not because they're neglected. I mean, we're trying to bring water, but again, we need easements. It's not just dragging the water line. There's a lot of process before we can do all that.
If people want to make a cash donation, who do they make the check out to?
I don't know. They were preferring like gift cards this way.
Okay.
It's just, I don't know. I'm sorry. I didn't. I have the family's last name if you want to maybe make it to the family name. I can do that. Yeah.
Thank you.
The neighbor of the brother made the post on Facebook, so to her surprise, she got inundated with like hundreds of messages. So she feels bad because she can't respond as fast as the messages are coming in. So, I mean, if people can be patient, they're not used to that kind of.
So Sam, I just want to interject a little bit. I did see that on Facebook about the fire and everything that was going on, and everyone's supplying them with goods and needs. And I did contact immediately the Goodfellows Board, which consists of Dan Datowski and Larry Benfett. And we were fortunate to collect enough money to take care of some families around the area, provide food and things for pantries, and we have a $500 gift certificate from Meyer that Goodfellows would like to give, again, because there's 3 young children, probably all their Christmas gifts, everything else that they need.
Yeah.
So the family can use that Meyer gift certificate for $500
nice.
to do whatever they like.
Oh, thank you. Also, the same night, there was a lot of rumors about a water break. We did have a water break, but it wasn't the main water line. I mean, Rich can probably explain it better. But it was the water line that fed off into the strip mall at 27 and Van Dyke there.
Yeah, we actually had 2 water breaks and worked all night to get them fixed. Broke a valve. It just is all part of the whole thing with the fire. Pressure going up and down.
So I want to thank the DPW. They worked all night in frigid weather.
Right behind the pantry.
Right behind the pantry. So those were 2 bad things in that. Speaking of fires, I don't remember what year this happened. That house, I don't want to say the name, but a house in Hidden Oaks was burnt down. The township tore down the home. We had a lien on the property. And Christine this week just informed us we got a refund from that fire. I think it was $54,000. Correct.
$56,000.
So that money is back in our general fund that we paid back. I don't know if it was 4 or 5 years ago.
It was 2018.
2018.
Yeah.
So. Got that. I know lunch earlier this year, so I don't know if there's any fish fries. Bring that. I don't fly in.
Not yet that I've seen.
February 25th. I know it's a month away. The Washington Historical Museum is doing the George Washington birthday that Sunday, February 25th, from 1 to 4. So everyone's welcome to go there. The Washington Elementary, the students there draw pictures of Washington, and they have like a little art contest with George Washington, and so everybody's welcome, 1 to 4, and I think they're going to have like a birthday cake for George. So.
I don't think he'll be there.
Yeah, make George's birthday.
What time is that?
George gets 1 to 4. It's like an open house. You can tour the museum and watch the. Yesterday, we had a Comcast town hall. I've gotten like 2 good reports from this. The last 3 years, we've been working with Don Brown, the county commissioner, who's working with Comcast, AT&T, trying to get more broadband here in Washington, but of course, northern Macomb County as well. I haven't verified this, but AT&T supposedly has gotten about 70 to 80 million they're investing in the Tri-County area. Because here in Washington, they're just around 27 mile. They're not north of 27 mile. They're still need to go more forward. Comcast has got about 250 million that they're investing in the Tri-County area. Washington is they already got crews on the road looking at existing poles and infrastructure. So if you see Comcast people walking around, please don't threaten them off your property. They're actually trying to, they want us to convey that message that Comcast people will be surveying the area for adding infrastructure for more additional broadband. I know where I live, it's getting worse every year. I'm on Mound, and it's terrible. And I know Comcast kind of ends, I think it's just north of 30 Mile and Mound currently. But I know that we've seen them on the road, but we're hoping for that. And then they also implemented a program, if you can't afford internet, it's called acpbenefit.org. We have information on the website. If you qualify, you can get internet at a very discounted rate for those that qualify, but you have to supply various information, and you can find that on our website as well.
Will they help cover the cost of dragging the line? Because that's like
That's
50,000.
That's the 250 million, yeah.
Okay.
No, I mean, 50,000 doesn't. We want to bring cable from Van Dyke to this building. That's, what, 64,000, I think. It's like crazy. And,
wow.
It's supposed to, I mean, I'm hearing Richmond's getting a lot, Washington's getting a lot, parts of Ray. Bruce is getting a little bit, Romeo's getting some, and Armada's getting some too. So Armada had the fight to just get by their municipal hall. I know it was tough on their part. So between COVID and people working from home now, the increase has gone dramatically, and so they're finally getting with the times, I guess. It's just, sorry, did you?
Yeah, I do have a little bit. You heard a big spiel about what's all going on with elections and things of that nature, but one thing I wanted to point out that one of our cards went out, and again, one of the means in which residents can get information back to us is by email. Unfortunately, the email address that was put out there was missing the MI at the end of it. So if you are wanting to send anything out there back to the elections,
for Washington Township.
you don't, except for ballots, do not send ballots back electronically. Those still have to be mailed, and you can drop them off or bring them in. But if any of the other mailings that you have received, it is elections with an S at WashingtonTWPMI.org. Again, elections at WashingtonTWPMI.org. If you can put that on the thing too, when it's spelled out. Talking to WBW. Again, some of them, they did respond and said, hey, it's being kicked back, so that's what made us alerted to the fact that the printer had left off part of the email address. So.
I wonder if it goes to another Washington Township.
No, they said it's just bouncing back, so
Oh.
that's a good thing. They're just getting bounced back, saying it's unlivable. So, other than that, yep, the 9-day early voting's happening.
When's the
We are
first
gearing up. The 27th, is it? 24th? I don't know.
27th.
27th is the actual election day. So the Monday before, we don't have any voting going on, but the 9 days prior to that, we have it. So I think it's the 17th.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at it.
Yeah, in February. So I think it's 17th through 30th, is it? I don't know. I'm not good with the numbers right now. It's getting too late.
17th is Saturday.
But,
Yeah, is Saturdays counting or no?
yep, we get to be here on Saturdays and Sundays.
Is it like, Sunday too?
Mm-hmm.
What time? I mean,
So it's going to be from 8:30 till 4:30 every day. Elections doesn't get
My elections
weekends off.
spin, I'd like to just weigh in on this one. For those of us who were paying attention to the election in Iowa, the caucus procedure, they hand them a sheet of purple paper, they write down their candidate, and they put it into a bucket, and they count it. And surprisingly enough, within a couple hours, they know the results.
Well, you know why? Because every single town does one. It doesn't matter how big or small, every single place does it. It's not.
Yep. So we get to go through this for 9 days, and we don't know, we probably won't know until 2 days afterwards what happened.
We do not count any ballots during the 9 days. They are getting put in the machine, and not
That's a
until
good
election
question.
day do we push the
Who's
button.
holding the bucket is a good question.
So,
Rich is going to hold the bucket.
they're, again, that can happen, but it's, again, not up to us whether the caucus happens or not.
I'm being cynical here, but
Would the buckets here be red and blue? Just thinking out loud.
No. In their case, it was just blue, or because they.
Green and white?
And purple.
Green and white.
It's just incredible.
Wow.
I know, I mean, well, no, I'm going to get
You're going to get in trouble, yeah. Less is more.
Yeah. I have a couple real quick. If you want to see some exciting sports, on January 24th, the Romeo basketball team is hosting their cancer game. And on this coming Saturday, January 20th, the hockey game is also doing their cancer event. So if you want to see some exciting sports, those are the 2 days, and go out and support the cancer fund that they are trying to raise. The hockey team is doing exceptionally well. So if you want to see a team that could probably hand off into the finals, the hockey team will be the one to go to. All teams are doing fairly well, but the basketball boys is on the 24th, and the hockey team is on the 20th. So if you want a chance to see them, that's a great opportunity to go out and support the team and the cancer cause. And then, unfortunately, being an Ohio State fan, I do want to congratulate Greg Tarr on his national championship game.
Who does he play for?
He plays for U of M. Greg, if you don't know Greg, he's a very intelligent young man. I've known him for several years along with the family, and I'm just very proud of Greg and the accomplishments that the team made to win the national championship. So congratulations to them and to Greg Tarr and the family. And
the U of M.
Yeah.
We're having a watch party as you vote 9 days early with the
Yeah, exactly.
Where do they play hockey at?
They play at Suburban Ice over in Macomb, right next to the Macomb offices there. Right off,
And the game is at Washington, Romeo High School?
Yes, thank you. The game on the 24th is at Romeo High School.
Yep.
And thank you, Mr. Stevens. The game on the 20th for hockey games at Suburban Ice. Both games start at 7 o'clock.
And the Lions are at Ford Field.
Yeah.
Home turf.
And I just have one here. So the board is having a budget meeting on February 7th at 3:30 PM.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I should ask.
So
I booked, I got all your emails. I booked them every Wednesday at 3:30.
Okay, so for the next 4 Wednesdays, so mark your calendars. Come on out, give us your input.
We got a board meeting that night, too. It's going to be a nice fun
You take a break in the middle.
Dinner.
Bring a bucket.
Go out and get a soup in between or something.
We're going to have
for 4
chicken
weeks,
buckets.
right?
For 4 weeks straight, so 7th, 14th, 21st, and 28th, mark your calendars,
Count your
3:30 PM,
sevens.
here in this boardroom.
Okay, sorry. So with that, I'd like to make a motion to go, there's no correspondence. With that, I'd like to go into closed session to consult with Township Council regarding trial and/or settlement strategy in connection with pending litigation, VBLCP LLC versus Washington Township, Macomb County Circuit Court Case Number 23-002644-CZ pursuant to MCL 15.268(1)E.
Is that your motion?
That's my motion.
Support?
Does that include a 5-minute break?
Yes.
Need roll call.
Oh, wait, roll call.
Ravidi?
Yes.
Babinski's a yes. Olson?
Yes.
Kopp?
Yes.
Datowski?
Yes.
Stevenson?
Yes.
And Nicely?
Yes.
Okay, motion passed. We'll be back after our closed session. Thank you. I call the meeting back into open session.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Any other motions?
Yes, I have a motion to authorize legal counsel and board members as discussed in closed session regarding trial and or settlement strategy in connection with the pending litigation BBLCP LLC versus Washington Township,
And that authorization is to continue negotiations, correct?
and authorization to continue to negotiate on behalf of the board. That is my motion.
Okay, motion by Dukowski, seconded by Cobb. Roll call.
Tatowski.
Yes?
Kopp.
Yes.
Olson.
Yes.
Babinski, oops, sorry. Babinski, yes. Pariti.
Yes.
Nicely.
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yes.
Okay, motion passed.
I have a motion also to authorize the standard meeting pay for the trustees that will be participating in this settlement strategy, and that is my motion.
Support.
Okay, motion by Dukowski, seconded by Olson. Roll call.
Tatowski.
Yes?
Olson.
Yes.
Kopp.
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yes.
Nicely.
No.
And Pariti.
Yes.
And Babinski is a yes.
Motion passed.
I have one more motion.
Better be the one I hope.
To adjourn, motion to adjourn.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passed. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.